Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another game of Skull Diggery. Yes, it's Monster Party.
Monster Party!
Monster Party!
Monster Party! Monster Party! Oh, Monster Party! And it's a party.
Oh, it is.
It's a party in a plastic thing. Yeah, you know what we're talking about. Oh, man. It's like, oh, well, our guest doesn't. But let's get right to this. I am Matt Weinhold.
I am SHAWN Sheridan.
I am Larry Stroth.
And I'm James GONIS.
And for this episode, we have a friend that is back with us. And we're not talking about our guest.
No.
We are talking about, we have done many editions of Topic Free-for-All. Now,
That's right.
This is the topic that is all topics. It's a game where we have a plastic skull that has lights for eyes. And by the way, Larry, do those eyes light up?
They do.
You just need batteries, right?
I just need, I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. I didn't know
No, that's okay. I'm just curious.
Do that for the listeners at home to
No, right. It
see,
doesn't make good radio. No.
But yeah.
But anyway, so we have a bunch of random topics that we've all written down, and we have past guests. Small, very
small,
like topic
Yeah, like mini,
quick.
Yeah, mini topics.
Yeah. And we throw them in this skull, and then we would all reach in each turn. We'd all each get a turn. We reach in, we grab a topic, and then we would just talk about that topic. So this is great because you get a lot, like it's like getting a lot of shows in one.
Yeah.
And
But
the
if-
most bang for your buck.
Smorgasbord.
But if
Right.
listeners
It's like
recall,
speed dating.
if listeners recall, we've been doing this for a while, and I had the skull in the garage, and there was a leak, and
That's correct.
water went into the skull, and there was some mold that grew in the skull,
And then it grew into like the green slime, and then it started replicating.
not exactly. But the funny thing is, I kind of wiped them off and put them in the sun, and they dried out. But believe it or not, there are still some of those in there that still have the black little mold stuff on,
Like from the early version
Yeah.
of Topic Free for All. Yeah.
So it
But the
feels
last-
like these things, we've been doing this since the 20s.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we had a
Depression
problem.
topics.
Yes, but the last time we did this, we had a problem.
We had a little problem that I didn't realize that we had, but Larry was not at his home. And so he did not have the skull with him. So we had to make some adjustments. And
Right.
I think it went very
Improvise.
well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now everything is back to normal
Oh,
right.
is it ever?
because guess what? It's Topic Free for All. The skull is back.
Dun,
The skull is back.
dun, dun.
The skull is back.
Oh, guys,
Yeah.
he's been packed away in a box. I was so happy we were gonna do this. Like, oh, what is this skull? And I got it. And it's like,
Yeah.
and it looks like there's plenty of the
Yeah.
topics in here.
Topics.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's left in there, but I can
me
see
neither.
that there are some that are moldy. So
Okay,
or
great.
dried mold.
That'll
Well, I
add
can
to the
t-
horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can tell you something that is not moldy is our guest, who is also returning because this guest has done quite a few Topic Free-for-Alls.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and he's great at it. And he's one of the guys that we get. See, for something like this, we have to have someone who knows their shit. He has to be one of us.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
He loves the horror. He loves the science fiction, comic books, all the above. And so
Yes.
who we have back is, oh my goodness, he's a longtime friend of mine, an amazing comedian, actor, writer. We've worked together on projects. We did a couple episodes of Beware the Batman, critically acclaimed, I would say.
Critically acclaimed. We were.
Yes. Yeah. And he is the genius cartoonist behind Matta Napkin. Please welcome back John Matta.
John.
Thank you,
I'm-
gents.
All right.
Wonderful to be here. So great to
Welcome
have you back. And the skull's happy to see you too.
Yes, the
Yes,
skull is
it
so
is.
happy, and I know listeners are probably wondering, hey, isn't that same John Matta who always has those Ben Grimm characters or figures?
That's correct.
And
Yes.
we have been complaining about this for a while. When are you ever going to get that darn Mego Ben Grimm? We would
From the Fantastic Four. Yes.
And what happened, John? What happened?
My wife, for my birthday on March 18th, it showed up. I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
Nice.
She's a peach.
I really couldn't believe it. But she brought it with a lady's eyes, so absolutely no rips. All the joints were perfect.
Wow.
It's a really goodie.
Wow. Nice.
They got a knockoff box that you can get, but it just seemed like the price could go to $2,000 just because it's in a box.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was always that guy that always took everything out of the box. Do you guys
There we
save
go.
all your boxes?
Uh-oh. Those are fighting words for somebody here.
Okay, well,
there was a time when I had a storage space. I had a
Wow.
1-bedroom apartment, and which then turned into a condominium, 2-bedroom
Wow.
condominium, and still didn't have enough room to keep things. So we had a storage space where I kept all these boxes. And at one point I was like, well, I'm paying more money to keep the boxes than I would get if by making sure this thing is worth more because I have the box. And a lot of these boxes,
Right.
especially for some of these toys, it's like, well, it's not really going to matter that much. So I got rid of a bunch of boxes, but I kept the good ones. But I'm with you. I have to touch my toys. I need to feel them in my hands because then that means that I own them and they're real. You know, it's like, like when you put the pin in yourself to check if you're dreaming. I just touch my Ben Grimm figure.
Well,
I know.
as a younger, I remember guys buying 3 issues of comic books.
Yeah.
And it just didn't seem to me that they loved it enough. You know,
No.
the idea, they had one to read, one to sell, and then I don't know what the third one was.
That was always like,
case.
that was a vague, just in case thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, just in case what?
yeah. But maybe
That's just it, Sean, just in case. It's-
or buying 2 of every toy. I get
There
it.
we go.
I get it. I get why you do it. I really respect it. I just never had either the dough, the time, or the space to do it.
Who
And
has
that's
that
why
kind
I
of
limited-
money?
Yeah, I limited myself just to Ben Grimm, just
So-
because. Listen, I've been to Matt's home. I can't keep up with that.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't get 2 of things, because I want,
Right,
instead of
right.
buying another one of the same thing, I want a different thing.
Yeah.
But see,
True.
Larry lives in a different world than the rest of us. Because we had
Oh,
He does.
we went to a convention that was put on by the great Scott Zillner,
Oh,
the Japan World Heroes Expo.
wow.
And Scott kind of ran us through the whole collector thing, and he is
Oh my gosh,
what
he's
would be
like,
called a mega collector.
yeah, he's a
Oh,
serious.
And he's the
yeah,
guy
oh,
who
yeah.
says that, like, if I see something I want, I just get it. No matter what my funds are, I just figure I'll somehow make it up. He also says it helps that he's not married.
yes.
And
Right.
he can do that. And that he even has he has like an emergency fund in his wallet with money for like, I didn't know that they made this figure. And so he can, I don't even know how anyone lives that way. But that's Larry. Larry's like, we went to Comic-Con and Larry was just walking through the aisles like he was fucking Elton John at an antique mall. Going like, I'm getting 2 of that. I'm getting 2 of that.
Wow.
Get me 2 of those. It was amazing. And I just don't know how to live like that.
I love watching that, but like
Oh,
I
me
can't
too.
even pay for parking. Well,
yeah.
Right.
So John, but like now that I know you've been looking for the Ben Grimm figure forever, so now that you have it, is there a little bit of a post,
oh yeah,
like trauma of like, what now?
yeah.
Yeah,
I-
it's over.
I
It's
found-
over. It's over, isn't it?
I
Just
found
over.
the lost ark, my Ark of the Covenant. And,
Wait, actually, but it's not though, because now the Fantastic Four is going to be in the MCU, so there's going to be plenty of figures. Of
Right.
new
Yeah,
Ben
but that's
Grimm
not the same,
figures.
right?
But I thought you had
Yeah.
different figures of. Ben
I've
Grimm.
never bought a Michael Chiklis one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he doesn't like, he
Okay.
don't like that. Yeah.
But do you have
I
other
watched
ones other
Nicholas
than
a
the
couple
Migo?
times, and the guy's not an easy guy to be around. Also, it didn't have the brow.
Right, you need the
Right.
brow. Yeah, I
You
hope
need
they
the
get that right.
brow.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand when you're making a superhero film why you miss the thing that's distinctive.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
when the first Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren and he's not wearing the skull outfit. Like, then why
Yeah,
even
we're
call
like,
it the Punisher?
yeah. Well, even the '60s Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four cartoon, which is great. He has the total brow there. I mean, he looks
course
great
he
in that.
does.
He looks
The
great. He
animated
looks
Ben
great.
Grimm. Yeah.
I
So
think the dream now would be a piece of Kirby art of
Ooh,
the
there you
thing,
go.
Ooh.
There
Yeah.
you go.
which I
That's-
don't
yeah.
think that,
Yeah.
or like
hopefully
other.
my dad has saved some money, so when he dies, I'll be able to buy something like that. I don't see me coming up with that kind of cash for Kirby art. Original piece, I couldn't even imagine what it would be.
Right.
Well, you know, John, when this strike gets taken care of and you're back out there, and who knows, you may
Maybe a John Byrne wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you could look for
I've-
other like Ben Grimm type novelty, like the Ben Grimm toilet paper dispenser, like or some weird.
Yeah,
like,
there's
weird
weird
art
stuff
Facial
out there.
cells.
Well,
Yeah.
we're talking about a lot of Etsy stuff. There's people do some really
Yeah.
tremendous things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, John, that's great. And I'm so glad that you have that new figure.
And scene.
But what do you say? What do you
I
say
am
we
officially bored.
No, what do you say?
That was the
I'm
meanest,
not
nicest thing that has ever
Wait,
been
wait.
said to me in my
No,
life.
no. It's like, what do you say
That's
we
great.
get to our thing, huh? What do you say?
That's a
What do you
great
say?
idea. So
What do
who's
you
going
say?
first?
So I think our guest should go first.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
great. I love that. I love that.
So, John, I'm reaching in the skull. I'm pulling out the first one, and it says, "Oh, what is the worst horror comedy ever made?
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh, that's
What
nice.
is the worst? I have to think about this.
Oh my
What is the
gosh.
worst
Yeah, that's tough.
horror comedy ever made?
It would take too long for me to
Jeez.
really think about all of them. So I'm going to name
Yeah.
the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And I might have some of the details confused, but I believe it's
Oh.
called Dead Heat. And it's with Treat
Dead
Williams.
heat.
And Joe
And-
Piscopo.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The two comedy greats. And I believe it's Treat Williams, who is a zombie or a
Yeah, Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo are buddy cops.
buddy
Joe
cops, right?
Joe Piscopo is the crazy one, doesn't go by the rules, and when he's like killed at some point. No, actually, it's Treat Williams.
It
who
is Treat Williams, right?
Yeah, you're right. He's killed, but then he's like drowns. Like the bad guys drown him or something. But so
But
he's
not a
like
ghost.
still.
He's a zombie.
Yeah, no,
right?
he's walking because there's some kind of like reanimating machine that the
Of
bad
course there
guys
is.
are reanimating crooks to go out and do robberies and things.
There
They've
you
already
go.
died. So and they investigate it, and yeah, they killed Treat Williams, but he's still alive. So it's kind of like zombie Treat Williams and his buddy cop Joe Piscopo, and it's pretty awful. But it has great makeup effects though. The all the zombie monster stuff is really good. It's kind of a waste because it's the good
It should
production
have been played
values.
straight. Like
Yeah,
if-
and
instead
Joe-
of being a
yeah.
comedy, they should have played it
Yes.
straight and
Yeah,
gotten
it's-
anyone else but Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo is
he's
excruciating.
kind of
He's-
unwatchable.
He's kind of I mean, it's almost like it's like a Saturday Night Live parody watching him trying to do a bad.
And it is.
It's awful. Yeah,
John,
But
but,
that was
yeah.
when he started
guys-
working out. So that was his first.
Oh my God, he's all he looks hideously like pumped up. He looks he looks terrible.
Yeah.
Do you remember he had a comedy special where instead of like having a closing bit, he just played the drums with his shirt off.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. We went through a
Wow.
weird phase.
No.
Yeah,
He opened up with
he
a
weird
tribute
phased
to
himself
his-
right out of the business.
He did kind of, right?
Now he
Yeah.
just lives in Jersey. He's on the radio there, and then he does his Sinatra show.
Yeah, he does. He did the Sinatra impression all the time on Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
No, he does a whole night of him as Frank Sinatra, pretty much.
You're
Oh,
kidding.
really?
Wow.
Really? Still?
Wow.
So he's on the radio. I can't remember where. What's it? Remember Uncle Floyd? I think he took over at that station.
Oh, really? Wow.
Huh,
Okay.
okay.
I'm
NEW.
going to go. My movie I'm going to pick is Tusk by Kevin Smith.
Tusk.
I've
What's that?
never
Never
seen
seen
that.
it.
I've heard of it.
And that's supposed to be a comedy?
I believe he feels it's part comedy.
Yeah, yeah. I have not seen that.
You know, I hate it when someone like deliberately tries to make something funny in a horror film and it just fails. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and they're trying to be nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I mean, you could say like maybe some of the Scream stuff. I'm not going to go as far
Or
as
any of the
saying,
scary movies.
yeah, yeah.
The later ones, I didn't even see some of the later sequels of those, but yeah, I hear some of those are pretty bad.
There's always like a scene or two in every one of those movies where you go, oh, that's kind of funny. And then the rest of
Yeah.
it is just
That's
like
how they
the
get
fact
you.
that they try to weave a story into it is, I think, the big mistake. It's just
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it like a series of sketches, like make it like Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
James, do you have
Well,
anyone?
there are a lot worse horror comedies than this, but this was just like the first one that came to my mind. And I love Mel Brooks, but he should have stopped the Young Frankenstein because Dracula
gosh.
Dead. Dracula
That was
Dead,
mine.
loving it.
That was my
Oh,
pick.
okay.
Yeah.
All
Because
right.
I don't even know if I've seen the whole movie all the way through, but it was Mel Brooks who wrote and directed it, and it's
just
yeah,
there's
it's got,
maybe like 2 or 3 little laughs in it, but the whole, especially if you compare it to Love at First Bite, which is not a great movie, but at least it had more energy and
Yeah,
some
yeah,
more
it
charm.
has
That's charm.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's charm.
no, but they're still writing the aging Leslie Nielsen doing his airplane shtick as Dracula,
yeah,
and it's a shame because I had a lot of good, like Peter McNichol, Mark Blankfield,
Yeah.
Steven Weber, like a lot of people are in that, but yeah, you're right. That kind of just it's so forced.
Especially if you remember Young Frankenstein, which is wonderful.
It's like a
It's
my
like,
God,
oh
perfect.
God,
talk about a
Yeah.
pale imitation. Yeah, no, that's a good choice,
Yeah.
James. That's exactly what I was thinking.
You know, it's funny, James. I was trying to think of one, and I was having a difficulty, and then you brought that up, and then my mind went to it, and I would agree. Maybe it's not the worst of the comedy horror films, but yeah, it was one that I was not a fan of, and I was kind of irritated with.
Yeah,
So,
I remember it's like
I
always
would
on
think you would
cable
hate
too.
that. Yeah.
I don't know who wrote this one. Who wrote
Yeah, I don't
this? Does anyone remember who
No,
wrote
it
that
could
one?
have been
I
like a
can't
past
remember at
guest
all.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
topic. Yeah, who knows?
All right. So we covered that. Okay.
Hey,
So
one more. What about? Sorry. Remember Nothing But Trouble?
Oh my God.
Nothing but
that movie-
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh,
I believe
was
it
that?
was directed by Dan Aykroyd.
It was
had
the whole-
Chevy Chase in it.
Yeah, it was the whole
Yeah.
brainchild of Dan Aykroyd. It was just it's weird.
What
But
is
this
it?
kind of it's like a horror comedy with like I don't even know how to explain it. He's like
I remember Demi Moore was in it, and
John
I
Candy.
remember she smoked a cigar in it or something.
They're like captured. Like I think
Tell me more.
Dan Aykroyd is like this crazy judge who captures them or something in the backwoods of his mansion or something. It's really bizarre. It's got I don't even know how to explain it. We did see it, but it's so bizarre and so weird that it's kind of watchable now. But it's still a train wreck though. Yeah, that's
and,
a weird.
going back. I mean, you could bring up stuff like Programmers, B movies, Bowery Boys, or Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, and some of these are not that fun to sit through.
No, but I don't know. But I guess they have
I
their
don't
charm
know.
for me though.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Time-
Even the Bowery Boys stuff, because we've been doing some research
Yeah, I
related
love
to that. And even at their worst, I find them enjoyable.
Me too. I do.
I think
experience.
time has been kind to them.
Yeah, I
I
think
guess.
so. I think so.
Well, that's a good topic though.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good, though.
Yeah, I like that.
All
one.
right. All right, John. Okay. So now we're gonna go, Sean. This is gonna be for
Okay.
you.
Okay. I'll tell
I
you
am
when.
pulling out. Okay. Yeah. So
Grab
say
it.
when.
Grab
Yeah,
one
okay,
now.
Okay. You have a moldy one.
Oh,
Look at this.
wow. Vintage.
Oh, this one. Who is the weakest or strongest Godzilla foe?
Oh,
Weakest.
that's
Who is
good.
Yeah,
the
that's good,
weakest
yeah.
or strongest? So it's either or Godzilla.
So I have a
foe.
question. I have a question for the panel.
Okay.
Would we include Minya in this?
As a
Oh,
Oh, he's not a foe.
she's not a
Oh, yeah.
foe.
He's not a foe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking the kaiju family of Godzilla, but
yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay, I liked it though. I think I have an answer.
I think
too,
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say right off the bat, Anguirus.
Oh, why do you pick on him? It pisses me off.
Because he's on his
scrappy.
knees.
He's scrappy.
He's going to lose. He can't even stand up.
Baragon's on his knees.
But he's not the weakest because he keeps coming back. He's always fighting. He puts up with so much.
Because they have the suit. That's why he keeps coming back. It's in the storeroom. They go, hey,
no.
If we don't use this, it's going to deteriorate.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you have your moment.
Okay, that's the weakest.
But my second choice was Baragon. But I think Baragon has more things that he can do that make him a little bit more formidable, especially if you include some of the later movies.
Okay, I mean, what about who's your strongest then?
My strongest? Wow. That's a tough one. Either Destroya or Showa Ghidorah.
Okay. I would say for strongest, I think Hedorah.
Hedorah's in there. I was on the fence
because Hedorah more than any more than any other Godzilla foe.
Godzilla had help. Godzilla had help with the electric stuff and things like that.
But he had
help with Ghidorah always.
It took so much to kill Hedorah. Even at the end when they thought they got him, part of him comes back out. It's like it took so much to finally destroy Hedorah. And easily the weakest Godzilla foe is from Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Is that stupid fucking giant condor?
Was that a foe though? Did he actually?
Yes, he attacks Godzilla, and Godzilla blows him with destroys him with one.
I forgot about
one
him.
radiation with fire, and he's dead.
You're
It's
right.
it's the stupidest, goofiest.
I changed my answer to Sean's.
So those are mine.
Good one.
Hey, James, I had a question for you because James, remember the name of the? It's the pincher bugs. The pincher bugs. It's like
Pincher?
From Rodan.
Yeah. No,
Meganeuron. The Meganeuron.
What about
Rodan?
But those aren't Godzilla foes.
But they don't really fight Godzilla.
No. On in Destroy All Monsters, isn't there a
what is it? Kamarakis or
Kamarakis?
Kamakura?
No, the praying mantis.
The praying mantis. What about that?
Kamakuras.
That's the one of the weakest.
Kamakuras.
Because I think
they're pretty weak.
Yeah, but
but actually, Sean, that was my first thought, was that one. But when you brought up the condor, you're absolutely right.
No, that's
the giant condor.
That's the one.
And yet I still want a figure of the giant condor, though. Isn't that weird?
Yes. But like you, Sean, I do agree. I mean, Matt brings up a really good point. My first thought went to Hedorah because of all the evolution that he went through, and that he needed even with the electricity. It's like humans had to help Godzilla to kind of help destroy him.
A whole combined effort to have to kill him. Yeah.
But Matt's right too. I mean, it's tough.
Come on, it was always a tag team to defeat.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
In
Showa,
like
everybody,
but in
Showa.
Yeah,
James?
but in Heisei, he doesn't need partners to defeat Ghidorah. He defeats not only Ghidorah but Mecha King Ghidorah. So
in some ways, Ghidorah was better.
That's why I added that caveat.
It had to be Showa. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, I want to know what James thinks.
Well, I would say for Showa, I would actually say Ebirah, because there's not really much to Ebirah. They're playing volleyball with boulders, and he rips off his.
It's a good choice.
And then for Heisei, I would say Destroyer. Destroyer actually kills Godzilla. I mean, he wins. So
that's true.
That's
all right. Good one, James.
Now, I don't think, John, your knowledge of Godzilla.
I agree with James for the strongest. The weakest, I was thinking of those two little princess girls that would sing the opera.
Well,
they actually fought Godzilla.
They're part of him.
They're part of the universe.
Mothra.
They're by far the weakest.
Well, they have the power. No, John, they have the power of song.
That's true.
They're definitely the smallest.
Song is very powerful.
Well, look, to be fair, Anguirus doesn't have song.
True.
Or the condor.
All right. Well, that's a good one.
Right. We're all done
all
having fun.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay, so that was Sean's turn. So now
All
it's
right.
my turn. So
All
I am
right.
putting my hand in.
No one's getting their frisbee back here.
No. So I'm taking out. Oh, this is another moldy one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is a gross one.
Should be good then.
What's the best horror sci-fi remake? The best horror sci-fi remake.
Oh,
That's
well,
almost a slam dunk, I think.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, the Thing is, what I would come up with.
Pretty much.
Right off the top for me would be that. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
John?
I agree with you, The Thing. However, I really enjoyed the new Evil Dead movie.
Oh, really?
Are you talking like in really? I mean, like on the level of like The Thing?
It's an impossible movie to remake.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to like
it
it more than I did.
Raimi stuff that he remade, like Army of Darkness, is a remake of stuff a little bit.
Well, to a point,
actually, Evil Dead 2
Evil Dead
is the
2.
remake.
Remake
right.
of one,
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still Sam Raimi, so you go, kind of.
Okay, so then look, if we're not going to choose The Thing, what would be your next one? Because my next one would be Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I would say also close around in that same area, Cronenberg's The Fly.
Yes, very much so.
I think all three of those are The Thing, The Fly, and they're all great.
Great.
James, any thoughts?
I can't think of anything better than those. Honestly.
Yeah, nice one, Sean. That is great. The Fly is. The Fly. The funny thing is, I just watched The Fly just last week actually, and I was watching. This is a film. It was made a while ago, but it still holds up.
It really does.
It really does. Good on so many levels. Not just the commitment of the actors, the story, but also the makeup effects too. It's just such a great film. And it's you could call it it's a tragic love story.
It is truly a love story.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And what Jeff Goldblum does physically with that character, I mean, is so masterful. Good. That's once again, it's the type of talent that is almost like magic to me.
Yeah.
Agreed. Cool. Okay. Oh, these are some good ones. Nice ones. Okay. James, your turn. I'm sticking my hand in. Say when.
All right. Go. When.
Okay. This looks like a newer one. This is probably from 2 episodes ago. What's your top creepiest, scariest family in a horror film? What's your top creepiest, scariest family in a horror film?
Pretty good.
I have some go-tos but they're almost too on the nose.
Yeah. I know what you're going to say, probably. Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw, that's a great family.
Oh,
like that.
Yeah,
they are truly frightening.
Well,
and I would also balance that off with The Hills Have Eyes.
That was the one I was thinking. Yes. That was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, because actually, believe it or not, that disturbed me more. I guess
it's great. That's a movie that I go back to like several times a year. I just love it. Yeah.
I go to say I would also throw in there the family from Spider Baby.
Good one. Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Great one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
With the Brood Lady, would that be a family?
Well, I guess if it's Samantha Eggar and all her mutant offspring. That's kind of a family. It's children, at least.
Sure.
Yeah. I like that.
Anybody else?
John? Any thoughts?
What's his name? Rob Zombie always tries too hard.
Yes, he does.
Agreed.
Where this is crazy.
Yeah.
Psycho, him and his mom. She's there.
Interesting. That's an interesting choice.
That is a family. There's a family relationship. That's true.
In one body.
Yeah, it's hard to beat, like you said, Leatherface family. There's some really good ones.
Yeah, I like that.
Scares me. That movie scares me to this day. Walking up to that door of the house, and especially when you've seen it before and you know what's coming.
Yeah.
And then the door of that slaughter room, looking in there, and then that hammer comes down, and then the guy gets dragged in by Leatherface.
Like it's over. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
James, any comment?
I'm thinking about a few married couples like Ruth Gordon and her husband and Rosemary's Baby.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
like
great
that.
one.
like that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
And
nice.
the couple who run the inn in Terror House is just like this nice
Oh,
old
yeah.
elderly couple. It turned
I
out
like
to be
that. You know, yeah,
cannibals
James and I know
served-
that movie. That's a good one. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
All
That's a
great
good one.
choices.
These are all great. I couldn't, those are fantastic. All right, Matt, it's your turn now.
Okay.
I'm sticking my hand in. You say when.
Go, mix it up, mix
Yeah,
it up.
I
mix
am.
It up,
I'm mixing
mix
it
it
up.
up, mix it up,
I'm mixing it
mix it
up.
up.
Mixing it up.
And now.
Okay.
Make sure your
All right.
fingers are nice and moldy.
Well, actually, the weird thing is that it kind of has a smell to it.
Of course
now.
it does. It's my choice.
Okay, I don't know who did this one. Best worst spy-fi.
That might have been mine.
Best worst. So is it?
Do we know what
Spy-fi.
Spy-fi?
No. Is it? Does that mean like science fiction spy film?
A James Bond movie is absolutely spy-fi. Because if it were the Harry Palmer movies would be in there too, but a little less so. Like the more it becomes more like how a real spy would act. Like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, not so much. But anything where anyone has a car or a jetpack or some crazy gadget.
Okay, so Matt, what do you think? Give us a best or a worst spy-fi in your opinion.
You can't beat the James Bond 60s films, at their best. Goldfinger and Thunderball. Those are all fabulous. Fun. But I'm going to pick one that might not be necessarily the best of all of them. But it's one that is unique. And even though this person is not necessarily a spy, it does fit within that kind of mood. And that would be Danger Diabolic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because he's not really a spy, he's a thief. But he might as well be the James Bond of thieves.
Right.
Because
that's true.
He has this amazing lair. He's always one step ahead of the cops. He's got this beautiful girlfriend, wife. I don't know exactly who she is, who lives in this crazy, almost like a cross between like a Hefner mansion room and the Batcave.
All right.
And especially when you know about how this film was made. This is a Mario Bava film. And, those movies didn't have a lot of cash for sets. So what Bava did is he would use things like forced perspective to get this set to have a hugeness quality to it. It's really fun. The costumes are great. The music is incredible. And it's just fun and exciting and fast paced. And so that would be up there. And if I could just throw a quick tie one for me, and that would be, I love the Matt Helm movies. And the Silencers is pure joy from beginning to end. With Dean Martin as Matt Helm, Stella Stevens at her sexiest. He's got a station wagon that is, instead of like the James Bond Aston Martin, you've got the station wagon where he presses a button and all of a sudden a bed in a bar pop up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, that's another instance. Those movies are another instance of time being really kind, because back then it was just like, oh, it's just Dean Martin doing a shtick with a James Bond thing.
Right.
Now you look at them and like, oh my God, this is wonderful. This is like kitsch.
It's so
right. And then for the worst one, that's a tough one. Again, if I had to research this, I'm sure I would come up with a different answer. But right off the bat, what's the one, the Daniel Craig Bond one, where James Bond does everything wrong and still gets like
Skyfall? Skyfall?
Was it Skyfall?
Skyfall's great.
I hated that so much. They're all pretty bad. The one that I liked, the one that I liked the most was Casino Royale, and even that one is not my favorite. Like, it's okay, but like the rest of them are just awful.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I could go down a list. I could go down a list of everything that's wrong with Skyfall. I won't take the time to do it now, but another time.
We'll save that for our Skyfall.
No, I mean, that was one where like 15 minutes into it, like I was genuinely angry.
Oh, I
that
loved
this was
it.
happening to me.
I loved it. Loved it. You know what's funny? And don't take this the wrong way. I was going to say one of my favorites was
I think I will.
Casino Royale, but actually one of my
With
least
David Niven, that one.
No, Daniel Craig. But you
That
know,
one's good.
and James, don't take this the wrong way, but I remember not being a big fan of Never Say Never Again.
Oh yeah.
And it just seemed a little slow, and even Sean Connery just seemed a little like tired, and I couldn't really. It was just it just seemed like it was funny because that was the summer that both Sean Connery came out with Never Say Never, and Octopussy came out, and Octopussy is so fun with Roger Moore.
But,
you know,
but I think Never Say Never Again. I think time has been good to that movie because I watched that not too long ago, and I thought it was pretty fun. In fact, there's an amazing fight scene.
Yeah, there's a good
with Sean Connery that is really good and fun.
Well, it also has Klaus Maria Brandauer playing Largo, the villain, in something that is it's probably the most three-dimensional performance for a treatment of any Bond villain in Bond cinema history. He's fascinating in that part, and I think the movie's worth watching just for him.
It suffers from like a very weak music score overall.
Horrible.
It's not just that it's a bad score. I mean, you're talking about the James Bond franchise, which is not really part of the James Bond franchise in a way. So they can't do the iconic music. No. It really does make a difference too. And
Sean, maybe that was another reason why to me it was lacking. It just it lacked that energy, you know. But
because of the rights issues with Kevin McClory, they were able to remake Thunderball, the story, and it was already made. You've already seen that movie with Sean Connery in it. So what's the point?
Yeah. That was kind of. It was just a strange, at the time, kind of a strange movie to come out, and I
didn't like it at the time
as well.
Later, I got a lot more out of it. Even the dumb video game thing tickled me, but it's like you were saying, James. It's like with Mad Helm. It's like, when you go back to it, it's like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
It does have Rowan Atkinson in it too.
That's right.
Maybe I'll have to revisit it. But John, any comment here? Do you have a best worst?
I'm going to pick one movie that encapsulates both, and I'm going to go with Face Off.
Oh,
okay.
That's a fun one. It was fun. It's silly but fun.
It's ridiculous, but there is some fun in that. Yeah,
Nicolas Cage was fantastic.
He's weird. Yeah,
I just remember how it all just fell apart at the end. Where at the end you're going, "Hey, what was this movie about?" And as you're walking out, you're going, "Yeah, I don't remember what happened." And I remember going with a group of people that we yelled so much at the Man's Chinese Theater during it, where a woman stood outside and waited for all of us and said, "Yeah, that's right, you motherfuckers. Don't ever come back to Hollywood again."
Wow.
Wow.
By how much yelling we did during the movie, fucking around. It was a big group of I think Passain was there and just Paul F. And
Were you vaping?
I think that covers everything I loved. It was both sides. I feel very comfortable.
So what about that's a good one, right? For you?
No, that's my best.
That's
and
your
my worst.
And your worst. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. But since we want people to go into theaters, we should try to put on our, we have our theater behavior when we go in. Laugh at a laugh and cry when you cry, when something's emotional, but don't.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, Larry.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. All right. So John, we're back to you, buddy. I'm reaching the skull. I'm moving around here. Okay,
we're really great to have batteries in it. And now.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh. It's another old one.
Yay.
Oh my God. Whose writing is this? What's your favorite thing on TV right now that we haven't talked about recently?
That's me. Of course. Why do you pretend that you can't? Why do you pretend that you can't recognize my 3-year-old prince?
Sorry, I
write like a 5-year-old. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
It's
tease.
fine. Look, you went to a big fancy Catholic school. I learned on the streets.
Okay. So, John,
I am a
what's your
Bowery boy.
What's your favorite thing on TV right now that we haven't talked about recently? So just tell me what your favorite thing on TV right now, genre related.
Wow. Give me a second. Wow.
Yeah.
I was asking John actually.
Oh, John. Okay. Phew. Go,
Yeah,
John.
because you're gonna have your moment, Matt.
No,
this isn't
thank
the
you.
Matt
No.
show. Okay.
Finally.
John?
I've just had my heart broken so many times.
Yeah, I know.
Like Secret Invasion could have been anything.
Me too. Same here.
Yes.
Yeah. I
It broke
stopped
my
watching.
heart because wouldn't you, if you worked for Samuel L. Jackson, you would do everything you could to make it great.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it could have been anything. It could have been. I would have picked a bunch of British dudes to let them write it, and it should have been like nothing we do here. It just was so.
It just Did you watch the whole thing? Because we gave up.
Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
And I wasn't even hate watching it. I was just
we went into like it.
It was like constantly getting my heart broken every week.
Yeah.
It felt like homework.
Yeah. No, I agree. I got to tell you guys, we just watched. I kind of am amazed I'm doing this, but we are because we watched the very first episode of Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, what's that?
The Star
like?
Wars thing. Okay, the Star Wars thing.
We watched.
That's very popular. I mean,
is it?
Well, I Star Wars fans are like raving about it. I'm seeing.
Okay, that's my question because we watched the first episode and it came across so generic, so like wow, way too many trips to the well with this franchise. Why am I watching this? These characters are interesting. It seems to me, and I could be wrong, but all the main characters are female. Okay. And I think they're going for like a teenage girl audience, kind of what it seems to me what MCU is doing with the latest Captain Marvel film.
Yes.
I mean, different tones, of course, but it just seems like it's aimed at mostly a female audience. But I just found it incredibly uninteresting. And it's just like, all the production values look great, but it's just like, there's so much to watch. So Gina and I are like, do you want to keep watching this? Really? It's not like we almost didn't make it through the first episode. We came back. It's only just an hour long, but it was just Jedi's fighting. It's just, and they're after some object before the Empire gets to. It's just the same stuff. There's nothing. I don't know. So that was really disappointing. So, but I would say for me, one of the best things that we've been watching, we watched the entire season except for one more episode, I think, is the latest season of Black Mirror. Black Mirror is great.
Yeah.
But I thought we talked about that.
Well,
did we go into detail?
Go ahead.
No, Sean, please.
But it's good. And they also get into some non-sci-fi stuff. In other words, they get into some supernatural episodes.
That's right. I think for the first time, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So some episodes are a little better than others, but overall, across the board, the quality of the writing and it's just, they engage you. They're well written. The ideas are great, and everybody's all the acting is good, and it just holds your attention. It's a super solid genre anthology show that everybody should check out. All the seasons of the show are good, I think. Mm-hmm. But I would say that's the last series you watched that was actually very satisfying for us.
Mm-hmm. Matt, what do you say, Matt?
Okay, well, we watched a movie. Now, once again, I have to put this out here, and that is that we're talking something that we haven't discussed that I've watched, especially recently. Mm-hmm. And this is a movie that we found just going through Shudder, and it's called Paul Dude's Deadly Lunch Break. And it's about this guy, Paul Dude, who fancies himself a dancer and a singer. He's an older guy, in his 30s. It looks like he either 30s or early 40s. And he still lives with his mom. Mom's an old lady, but she believes in him. And he's trying to get on this American Idol type show.
Mm-hmm.
And he, has been practicing this whole routine and song. And he's doing everything he can to try to make the date of this audition. Mm-hmm. And everything is getting in the way. From his mom forgets the water for her pills because he's bringing her along too. And he tries to get water from this restaurant. And there's this crazy guy who is trying to have this restaurant that's like a Japanese tea place and takes it way too seriously. And there are all these the guy who's at the train station is like overly concerned with all the rules and just a power freak. And it's a comedy, and not all the jokes land, definitely. But there is a charm to it. And Paul Meaton, who plays Paul Dude, is very likable, in my opinion. And the story takes a lot of turns that I didn't expect, because when you watch the trailer, you're led to believe it goes in one direction and it doesn't. And there's some music in it that I think James, I think you would like this, because there's this whole musical ending that's quite fun. Catherine Parkinson is in it from the IT Crowd.
Oh, okay.
There's this guy, Kevin Bishop, who plays Jack Tapp, who's the guy who's the conceited host of this big show. And I had fun with it. Carrie and I watched it. We both enjoyed it. And is it perfect? Is it the funniest comedy you'll ever see? No. But I was certainly entertained.
Is it very broad?
That's
like
a
broad
rave
comedy?
review.
It's you know what? There are moments where it walks that line, but it's not really. It is exaggerated, definitely. And I would say the scene with the guy who runs the Japanese tea place is a little broad. I can't remember the name of this particular comedian who plays the guy. Oh, Johnny Vegas is the
British
British comedian. Yeah.
I like him normally, but
yeah, that's a little broad. But his story and how that wraps around, I didn't expect. So I think it's worth a watch.
James, any thoughts?
Well, it's not that exciting, but I've just been binge watching the Godzilla channel on Pluto TV on streaming.
We've never talked
pretty
about
much.
that.
That's my go-to. And the remarkable thing about that is that no matter, whenever I turn it on, whatever's on, it's like, name that tune. I know which movie it is right away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't necessarily, I didn't expect that would necessarily be the case, but I found that, wow, I know this series pretty well. So, yeah, that's been my go-to.
James, have you ever found that, like, when it comes to coming back to a movie years later, are there any of those movies that you thought, like, hey, this is a little better than I remember it? Like, for me, Space Godzilla, I enjoyed it more than when I first saw it.
Okay. Yeah, I got to revisit the Heisei ones.
Yeah, that's almost inevitable. That movie, I think, can only get better. And
True.
certainly
we hope.
Godzilla Raids again, even though I had it, in its uncut version. It's slow pace, but it grows on me. I like that. The cast is good. It's cozy. I just enjoyed it.
Godzilla stuff, I think, is great. Even the speeded up things.
Yeah. I like the little airplane. And I was wondering if that was one of those things where someone forgot on the set. So for listeners, if you're not familiar, in the very first Godzilla film, what the creators did is they would shoot some stuff at high speed, so Godzilla looked like he was large and moving very slow in a way, but like he was gargantuan. In the second one, when Godzilla raids again, I'm wondering if the camera guys got mixed up. What are we supposed to do it really slow? So so that's what they did. They shot all the footage with a slower camera or a slower speed, which makes everything go faster. And the director
like Benny Hill.
Yeah, almost. And so, but the funny thing is, the film is shot, and it's like, we can't go back and redo this. So that's
was that your Japanese man?
No, that was my Ishiro Honda, I don't know, voice, but it was
Kimosabi can't go back.
No, but I just thought it was a mistake. James, do you have any idea? Do you know about that?
I don't. Honda didn't direct that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a major mistake to make on it, and then for them not to at least try to correct it. But
that's pretty crazy.
At that point, they probably looked at it like a B movie that they were just churning out.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize that is the first Godzilla movie. The first time that Godzilla character that we follow through all the rest of the movies, that is the first appearance of that character.
You're right.
That's true.
Yeah, because
and who does he fight? Matt.
Well, you can hardly call it a fight.
Oh, come on. They fight.
Anguirus, who crawls around on the ground, and Godzilla just tries not to step on him too soon.
He's got a prickly back. How would you like it if you stepped on a prickly back?
God, you know what? If I was directing that movie or writing it, I would have had Godzilla pick him up and use him like a loofah.
So, hey,
That would have been a better movie.
do you guys know about this upcoming Apple TV series called Monarch Legacy
Yeah.
of Monsters?
John, have you seen that clip? John, have you seen that
No.
clip?
So it's the Monarch, the
Company.
group or the company
Yeah.
that is researching all the giant monsters in the new American Godzilla franchise. There's a show, a 10-episode show coming in November that's called Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and it takes place earlier. So what's his name from Roseanne? The
John
husband.
Goodman.
Yeah, so
John
John Goodman, he was killed in Kong Skull Island, but he's in this, so I assume it takes place. Remember, because he's supposed to be, he was like researching monsters for years, right?
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
He's in the new series, and so is Kurt Russell.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
like
Yeah, Kurt Russell's son plays him younger.
Wow.
Wyatt is in it too. Is
but
that-
also, if you see the trailer for the show, though, you can
There's
tell they
two
do the
Kurt
whole.
Russells.
No, but they do the whole de-aging on Kurt Russell, so he's like a younger Kurt Russell. Anyway, it's like, I didn't even know this was being made. So there's like going to be a
Wow.
Godzilla TV series coming out. So I mean, whether it's going to be good or not, who knows? Maybe it might be better than the newer movies, that have not been the best. So I guess we should be just happy there's a Godzilla TV series coming out.
Have you
Mhm.
guys made it through Kingdom?
I have not watched that.
No.
No.
Okay, it's what is it? It's Korean, right?
I think so,
Korean
yeah.
Zombie movie.
Yeah,
It's
I've heard
a
of it.
Period piece. It's on Netflix. So I don't know. I got to get less fat. So I'm looking for something that I can ride a bicycle and walk.
Amen. right there with you, buddy.
So,
Yeah,
oh,
and
yes.
It's got
Oh,
two
me too.
seasons. Yeah, and I am a little bit zombied out by same as everybody, and I'm sure someone's going to do something crazy again with zombies.
Well, there's yet another. There's the Daryl Dixon TV show.
That's
I
right.
don't.
that was a joke.
Who's watching that? Is that really? Are they making
I don't
money
know.
from that?
Well, Sean, I will say he is a neat character.
Yes,
I don't
he
know.
is, but
I don't know
do
what
we
that
still
arc
want to
was.
follow him around
In-
the zombie wasteland? where
in-
people
And he
trying
goes
kill
to
him?
France, right? He
In
ends up in
Europe.
France.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm just
Really?
I'm
Does-
so unbelievably
Yes.
not interested. I mean, it's like I just don't.
No.
Maybe it's a great show, but I just have no desire to revisit that franchise.
Yeah.
But now it's like
real.
like the Ma and Pa Kettle movies,
Yeah,
yeah,
It's, Walking Dead in France.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate to say
In
it, but
Morocco.
they
Walking Dead in a
burned-
haunted house.
They burned me a while ago, and we had this discussion a while ago. It's like I'm done. I'm done
It's
with it.
still going.
There are other people out there who are watching it. It surprises me that it continues to live on. I don't know what the ratings are
People
like.
love
but-
Blue Bloods on CBS. It's in its 15th season.
That's right.
Really?
Well,
God.
there you go.
Wow.
Unless you have a father who is going through some health challenge, you would never know it's on TV.
Oh my God. Yeah. Look, I mean, again, it's that we've talked about it before. We're in a period where there is so much content. It's insane. We
Yeah.
grew up where there's not a lot of content. We had to search like hell to find
Yes.
stuff we liked that was good. Now we cannot possibly keep up with it. It's
No.
crazy.
But do you find the numbers still the same of good things?
In some ways, maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff, but but three really good things.
Well, I don't know. I mean, look,
I don't know.
I mean, I watched a lot of creature features. Larry, come
Yeah.
on. We watched a
Yes.
lot of creature
Yeah.
features.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not like all of those were masterpieces either.
No,
And-
that is
and so
true.
my view is that, there's a lot of stuff, but I mean, I've gone on Shudder and I've found a lot of really interesting
Yeah,
movies.
me too. I do still find
and,
this stuff.
and once again, maybe they're not masterpieces, but they
Yeah.
were worth the watch and they were
Sure.
entertaining.
Yeah.
And there was some nice acting. And so
Just-
I am happy with the fact that we're getting this content. But you're right. The tough part is finding out what's good. And
Yeah,
what
wading through the crap. Yeah.
isn't.
didn't-
And
I
then
still
reviews
liked
you
it.
can't even trust anymore.
I still liked it as a kid because I felt older watching adults. Like even some of the Hammer things I didn't enjoy
Sure.
as much. I enjoyed, and then you kind of saw a boob. kind
Well,
of.
Oh yes.
Later, you
Sure,
really saw
sure.
boobs.
in there, and I still enjoyed it, even when it was bad. It was now I don't know. I don't enjoy bad as much anymore.
I think it's
Well-
also but filmmaking is so sophisticated now that
That's
you
right.
almost no way expect something to be you're kind of shocked sometimes. Like, come on, they could have done something better than that. You know,
Something can be so slick and so terrible at the same time. And that's
Yes,
why
yes.
I'm always amazed when you are doing some channel surfing or streaming surfing and you come upon some movie like, oh, that sounds like an interesting premise. And then you watch the trailer and it looks like we filmed it on the weekends, with our phones.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I just
So-
watched the Gore documentary on Shudder. The band Gore.
Oh,
Guar,
no.
Guar, yeah. I love that.
Guar.
That was
Guar,
great.
oh, yeah.
Fantastic
I
on
got
Shudder.
to see that. Yeah.
That was great. And what a saga, man. The shit that they went through, especially with all the interpersonal relationships, and then having to do all of that at the same time you're putting together for each show, in a lot of ways, even more complicated than a Kiss show because of the amount of prosthetics and mayhem.
Well, the fact
sure.
that one of us wasn't in Gore is amazing to me.
I kick myself every day. I auditioned again and again.
Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame.
Always a Gore bride.
You know, maybe
All right.
I'm kind of breaking the rule here, but something that I've been watching on a regular basis that I've really enjoyed is actually Collector's Call on MeTV. I actually have gone out of my way to plan my Sundays in such a way that when I'm doing laundry or whatever, I gotta be back so I can watch MeTV because
I do enjoy
yes,
it.
of course, Matt's wonderful episode. It was great, but what's been interesting is it's been great to see a lot of these other collections and even stuff that, look, it's not really my thing, but the interesting thing about all of them is everyone has this passion about something.
Yeah.
And they talk about their struggles or trying to find a certain thing, and they have a great story about it.
Right.
And the episode that Matt and I were on, it was again, MeTV did such a great job.
Yes, they did.
I can't wait to see. We just
and for listeners, I know a lot of people have asked, "Oh my gosh, I missed it. Where can I see it?" MeTV is a goofy channel. They don't, as of right now, aren't doing these reruns. You can go to their website and they'll show clips and stuff. And I think later on they may put the whole show, but it was a great episode. And after this next one, they're going to do a new season. Who knows what they'll come out with. So I've enjoyed that.
Larry and I watched it together and it was amazing because, and I'm not saying this just to kiss somebody's ass, but it really came out way better than I ever could have imagined. Like it was really done with love. I thought they chose all the right items. I think they did their best to include all the nice little things that we said to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
The funny parts.
Yeah.
And the pictures, I gave them a bunch of pictures and they put up almost every one. And I gave them a lot of pictures of, because I mentioned that my father, he actually helped my brother paint these Aurora model kits, and he did really the painting.
Right.
And I talk about that, and they put all these pictures up of my dad and my mom, and it meant the world to me.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Now, the funny thing is that they don't have any control over the expert that they get when an expert says, well, this is worth blah, blah, blah. And the funny thing is, I've done enough research on eBay. I've bought a lot of stuff. And I think some of Gavin's, I didn't agree with everything that, he suggested was valuable but
that makes good TV though.
The other thing is it was still a lot of fun to do. And it's a fun show. And Lisa Winchell is lovely. And it moves.
Lisa Welchel is lovely. And Gavin, I thought was great. I thought he was absolutely one of us. And I think it is hard. I mean, I bought a lot of stuff on eBay as well. And to walk into someone's collection and put a dollar value on it, I think is tough.
Oh,
because
for sure.
You never know really how much something is worth.
No.
And something could be worth a certain amount 10 years prior. And then 10 years after that, it's completely different because the market for that thing is gone.
It changes. Yeah. It changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or the interest.
anyway, that's what I've been watching, and I look forward
Great.
to seeing their next season. So
Cool.
there it is.
Awesome, Larry.
Nice.
Great
All right.
recommendation.
So it's my turn. I am putting my hand in. I take out this one. This looks like it's one from a year ago. Ooh, what is one of the most horrific scenes in war movies? Ooh.
Hey.
Now, do you
Okay.
know who wrote this one? What is one of the most horrific scenes in war movies? Well, one comes up. I can't say that it's a horror film, but war is horrifying.
War is
and
hell.
The scene.
Well,
There's a
yeah.
scene in Saving Private Ryan when there's a battle between a German soldier and an American soldier, and it's hand-to-hand combat. And there's a knife that comes out, and it's very slow, visceral thing, and the reaction that the person who's getting killed is dying right in front of you. It's like happens in real time, and it's still ingrained in my brain here. I just found that one of the most horrific horror deaths in war that I can recall.
Well, and then the first
Sure.
10 minutes of that, the storming of the
Yeah.
beaches is
I guess I guess
Terrifying.
it's so
Yeah.
fast, Matt. All that stuff happens so fast. This scene, it's
it's
these
personal.
two guys. It's brute strength,
Yeah.
and it's just one guy against one guy, and it's just brutal. But so there's mine. Anyone else?
Well, there's a favorite war movie of mine that I go back to on a regular basis, and it's a Robert Aldrich film called Attack.
Hmm.
And it's
Oh.
1956. It's a World War II drama. It takes place in 1944 in a Belgian town near the front line around the time of the Battle of the Bulge. And it's Jack Palance, Lee Marvin, Eddie Albert, Richard Jekyll. I mean, it's just a star-studded cast. Everybody's great. It's based on a play. And in this film, Eddie Albert plays this cowardly captain of this unit who he's always leaving his platoons in the lurch. So he'll promise them backup and then it never comes. And so Jack Palance is getting tired of this because his men keep getting killed. And then Lee Marvin is the lieutenant colonel who's kissing Eddie Albert's ass because in civilian life, Eddie Albert's father is a well-to-do guy. And so he's hoping for a nice cushy position after the war.
Oh, okay.
So he's in the middle of these two, but Jack Palance is ready to kill Eddie Albert and just fucking hates him. And they think they're going to pull out of this town. And at the last minute, they get the word, you got to go back to the front line. And the way that they're going to go win is dangerous. But once again, Eddie Albert says, we'll send backup for you. And Jack Palance and his platoon get stuck in this little house and they have to defend themselves from the Germans who are attacking. And at one point, everybody rushes back to get back to their headquarters and people are getting mowed down and some of them make it back and everyone thinks that Jack Palance has been killed. Well, he hasn't been killed and he's slowly making his way back. He's injured and on the way to getting back to headquarters, he goes into the town where they're at and there are these German tanks coming in and he's single-handedly trying to fight these tanks and German soldiers and snipers. And at one point, a tank runs over his arm. And that scene alone is just like, because you already know how much he's gone through already.
Right,
But
yeah.
at that point, his only mission is to get back and kill Eddie Albert. And so it's just like, and it's just like God, and he's like literally praying, please just give me the strength to get back so I can kill Eddie Albert. And they're all Eddie Albert and his platoon are all holed up in this place, and they all have written off Jack Palance. They think he's dead, but then all of a sudden there he is, shows up at the door, murder in his eyes, totally fucked up, can barely walk, just trying to get to Albert. And I don't want to give any more away, but it is horrific. And you feel every moment that Jack Palance is having as he's trying to make his way back to Eddie Albert.
Right.
Between the tank and everything else, it's not the most gory thing you'll ever see, but you feel every minute of it. And that's the sign of a really good movie. Great direction by Robert Aldrich. and Jack Palance, I think, at his finest. And Eddie Albert, which is interesting, prior to The Longest Yard, in which he plays a cowardly prison warden, he's playing this character. In real life, Eddie Albert was a war hero.
Yeah, yeah.
And so again, it's the kind of film and performances that really bring the magic of filmmaking to life.
Yeah. That reminds me, that makes me think of, did you ever see a Sam Peckinpah film called Cross of Iron?
Yes, yeah.
No.
Cross of Iron reminds me of that because that's Maximilian Schell as this psycho German general, and James Coburn, who's the guy working under him. It's on the Russian front, and Maximilian Schell just is obsessed with winning the Iron Cross for this mission, and he just is always at odds with James Coburn, who like kind of sees through his whole ruse. But it's a very bloody, very cynical, bloody, unheroic war film. It's really good, but it's Sam Peckinpah, so
wow.
It's good. It's that kind of thing. Is that kind of like conflict between those two great actors. It's great. It's worth checking out.
James, did you weigh in here?
Well, I would bring up Casualties of War by Brian De Palma, and I want to say 1991 or 1992, which Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn, and it's based on a true story of what happened in Vietnam, where a platoon raped and killed a Vietnamese girl. And Michael J. Fox plays the soldier with a conscience who ends up ratting them out. And, I guess the first half of the film is the lead up to the rape, and then the second half of the film is the aftermath. But the rape itself is horrifying. But what's really horrifying is what happens right after the rape, because the Vietnamese girl tries to walk away, and the soldiers know they can't let her. And there's it's as sustained horror as anything that De Palma has ever done. And it's even more horrific because it's supposedly based on a true story.
Right.
And I remember watching it in the theater. It was honestly too painful for me to ever want to watch it again. And it was controversial for its time because De Palma was known for excess at the time.
Right.
And manipulation. But that sequence was so, it really got under my skin. And I'll remember it, for the rest of my life. So, yeah.
Okay.
John?
Same thing. I think it was the same time. Platoon came out a little before it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they do like a version of the My Lai Massacre? Remember that they crushed the skull of like a disabled guy? As they were going through the village. I just remember seeing that as a kid and going, geez, this war is not fun.
No.
I just remember how brutal it was that you just couldn't really say anything.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, too, of Saving Private Ryan, anytime I had to adjust my speaker sound, I would do the beginning of Private Ryan because the bullets would go underwater.
Yeah.
And then it was, all right, great. I got the sounds perfect. It's so horrible that I'm using a movie like that to work out my sound bar.
No. Well, that was a good question, though.
If I could just throw in one,
of course,
one more, and that would be Paths of Glory, the Kubrick movie.
Oh yes,
such a great
the battle
film.
scenes in that I think are terrifying.
Yeah, because it has that classic Kubrick coldness.
Yeah.
It's just, which fits perfectly with the subject.
It's muddy and
it's that's it too, is that you have the battle scenes, but then everybody waiting to go to battle in those muddy trenches.
Yes.
It makes me scared.
And the general's walking through, go kill some Germans, son. And the guy's like just fucking wigged out, like it's just
George McCready.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
it is such a great film. Really great film.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. Okay, James, it is your turn now. We're going to take
round and round and stop.
Okay. James, this question is for you. What sci-fi do you not get? Popular properties that do nothing for you.
All of it.
This is your question.
Wait a minute.
This is a question for you. So again,
I think this one is a ringer.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. What sci-fi do you not get? In parentheses, popular properties.
Maybe we should
that
change
do
it to
nothing
which
for
one do you get?
James, whatever you want to do, man.
Why are you asking me?
Because it's your turn.
I love I'm Mr. Sci-Fi. Okay.
You are
yes,
Mr.
okay.
Sci-Fi.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what
All right.
that's what I call you.
You know,
And it's not just to you; it's to all of us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we're
right.
starting with you.
honestly, Planet of the Apes. I don't really. No. Okay.
Oh man, you almost had me. I was gonna just explode.
No, I
there.
know. I know the whole Star Trek thing, which I am yet to. The thing is, I talked about Pluto TV. Pluto also has 24-hour Star Trek channels.
Yes, they do.
Right.
Right.
Yes, they do.
I have binge watched that, and it's been entertaining.
Well, that's
Like-
good.
You're talking about
Yeah,
the classic original show?
Yeah, and also
Okay.
Next Generation.
Okay.
And I can appreciate it. I was so late to the game that after you reach a certain age and everybody's already so immersed in it, it's like, well, geez, I got too much catching up to do.
Well, yeah, you just have to
but
look
I
at
will
it fresh.
say that
Like,
recently, no, I can appreciate it. But I will mention 2001, which I can also appreciate. I could just, and this speaks to like Kubrick in general for me. I can appreciate Kubrick. It's really hard for me to really warm up to him. Obviously he's a pretty cold, calculating kind of
Right.
director.
yeah, it's this thing.
But 2001, I could just never really embrace. I don't know
Really?
what it was. I just never felt a personal connection to it.
I mean, I don't know if the movie's meant to be. Well, to me, it's not meant to be this warm movie that you connect to in that way. But I just feel, I don't know. It's for me, it's such an experience, and it's such a beautifully crafted movie. I don't know. I'm
to defend James, I do remember I saw it as a kid. My experience was different from Matt. I did see it on a big screen. I saw it with my parents. And I loved all the ape stuff at the beginning. And I just, as a kid, I just didn't get it. And I'm wondering if it's one of those things where it's been around, it's been, praised as it is this great film. And I know a lot about it, but I mean, I do really love it. I love it now.
Me too. I really do.
Even though like people have different interpretations as to what does that end mean exactly. And I mean, I have my own interpretation. It makes me think. So it's like, what sci-fi do you not get? Well, when I was a kid, I didn't get it, but I still love it. I just watching the visual imagery.
That's a good
all
point
the stuff that's
too.
happening, all the visual imagery just flowing over me. It's like, I may not know what it meant, but it was so cool. And
And that's interesting coming from you too, because you normally like it a little bit more spelled out.
I do.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that because we all have our own tastes. But
sure.
But yeah, there are some movies where I don't need that explanation. And, again, I did see this film when it came out in the 60s in the theater with my parents at the age of like 4, but was into it.
Right.
And then all the subsequent viewing since then, I just get drawn into it. Like it casts a spell. I'm
agree.
fascinated. Even the scenes where nothing is really happening. It's just their day-to-day lives on the ship.
Or the phone call. The phone call.
Yeah, the phone call is, to me, it's fascinating.
That's Kubrick, I think. Kubrick can take the most mundane moments and make them somehow fascinating to watch.
Unless they're not. You know what I mean? It's depending on who's watching it.
Right,
but
right.
For me, it all works because I find what he does really captivating.
Yeah.
John, did you have that kind of experience?
Yeah, I was thinking of for some reason, I was thinking of a type of sci-fi that I don't like.
Yeah, me too, actually.
By and large, I was going, I don't think I like sci-fi comedy. I've been let down so many times of going, this is going to be really funny. Anything's possible. And you go, oh.
That's true.
The Mel Brooks
it's a tough one.
when he did Star Wars.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's some good moments.
Spaceballs has some moments. It's just not
a handful.
Yeah, it's like the second tier Mel Brooks stuff. It's not.
Right.
I would say, as far as a popular sci-fi franchise, I don't get only in that I don't get that it's so popular or what the appeal is and how possibly it could still be going. And that would be the Transformers movies. I mean, I can't even keep track. I don't even know how many there are now, but like I literally only watched the first one. I've never seen any other Transformer. And with the exception of, because it's not really part of the franchise, I actually enjoyed Bumblebee. That was kind of fun.
Bumblebee.
Yeah, but all the other Transformers sequels, now they have like robot dinosaurs in them or something. Like it just looks like clutter, like CGI clutter to me. I'm not interested really in visiting that franchise, to be honest.
People love that cartoon though.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, but that's the different thing. Is that appeal and growing up with that. But
and it plays to an audience, Sean. It's a younger audience, some more kids who like cars and things and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I mean, it's just not for you.
That's right.
Okay.
Does Trauma count as sci-fi as a studio?
I guess it depends on the movie.
Horror. I've never really enjoyed
like
much
Toxic
stuff.
Avenger, like Toxic
Avenger, Class of
I like
Nukem
that
High.
movie, and then the rest are
like one movie of everything.
Yeah.
I
think I'm with you, John. Sci-fi comedy is a tough one. When it's not good, it's really not good. And I have to say, there's one movie that everyone seems to like, and I don't. And I just don't think I know that it's trying to be funny, and I respect the people who like it, and maybe there's something I'm missing. But Buckaroo Banzai.
I knew you were going to say that.
Nothing.
I love that.
I know. A lot of people do. And again, a lot of people I respect. So that's one that I think I should go back to and at least give it another try, because who knows? But I have over the years tried to watch scenes, and I just
Right. It's like you either get it or you don't get it. It hits you on some level where you appreciate it, and it just never hit me on that level either.
Whereas
really, oh yeah.
Whereas Ice Pirates is universally loved by everybody.
Well,
I actually like that movie.
The space herpy.
I like it better.
I like Spice Pirates. Ice Pirates.
Spice Pirates.
Space Pirates. Space Pirates.
Spice Girls. That would have been the next movie.
Don't you feel with Buckaroo Banzai? Some people say they like it or tell you how much they enjoy it, and they're just going along on a party line.
I think you might be right there.
I saw that in the theater. I saw it in the theater, and it didn't do well. I'm like, this is a cool, different movie. It's a breath of fresh air, but nobody else was into it.
I feel the exact opposite. I felt it was not at all a breath of fresh air. I thought it was the thing that I hate the most is someone trying to make a cult movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of that, but I still enjoy it.
Very self-conscious.
Yeah,
and
I remember seeing it in the movie theater, and my feeling, Sean, was it was like, to me it was weird and strange, unique. It was like, it wasn't like anything I'd seen, but it wasn't like it was a film that I loved so much. But I mean I did enjoy it, and I thought it was weird and funky, and there was talk for years about doing a second one, but because it just didn't do well.
It was going to be Buckaroo Banzai versus the World Crime League.
Wow,
which could have been cool.
Well, if the property's purchased by Disney, who knows?
Maybe. Exactly. Different as remember the first time you saw Blue Velvet and you went, what the fuck?
Yeah, you kind of walk
this,
but I loved that the first time.
Me too, though. Yeah,
but I was a Lynch fan.
Sent you down the road on all these different movies. Buckaroo Banzai just seemed like, you guys are trying to capitalize on weirdness.
Yeah, I'm weird. Yeah,
but I thought that was kind of cool. Now, when you brought up Blue Velvet, I mean, that is the funny thing about that is I haven't met anyone that says, it was okay. It's either people love it or they hate it.
That's true.
It's a laugh riot.
No,
it is. It is funny in parts. Though.
It is very funny in parts.
See, I didn't find any. I was terrorized through the whole thing, and I
but there's very dark comedy.
Fuck that shit. Pass blue ribbon.
right. Yeah.
Okay, so you thought that
Frank.
was funny? You thought that
Yeah.
was funny, James?
It's the absurdity.
I was
hysterical.
I was
Dark,
terrified.
It's dark humor.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like an
well,
insane absurdity. Yeah.
I-
But then
okay, I'm
you
just-
never had dark humor in your life before, so I agree. I'm agreeing with Larry. I think my mouth was open for the whole first time I saw it. I couldn't believe what I was looking.
Right.
Me too.
I think I found the humor later on.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
I had nothing to compare it to in
Yeah.
my life
It
other
does.
than Rocky movies and
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it kind of hits you in the face.
But I will say this about Buckaroo Banzai. If they do bring it back with the same cast, I would actually give it another chance, because I would think, okay, well, here's an opportunity to revisit this, and maybe this time it'll sort of tie it up and I'll get it again. It's like Lucy in the football, but I'm intrigued by the possibility.
it's gonna
James,
be
we'll do
all
that. We'll
Jeff
do that viewing
Goldblum.
together. We'll get together. We'll have a party.
I'm there.
I'll go.
I'm there.
How about how about this is the other one that kind of always left me a little flat. I didn't really care for the comic books either. The Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's one of those things where it's not like I hated it or anything.
Right. Yeah, me
But
too. Yeah.
It didn't really capture my imagination, although I hear this latest movie is really fun.
Yeah. Well,
I
there's
saw it
so,
and really
yeah.
enjoyed it.
Okay.
There's so many incarnations. There's like the realistic versions. There's the more ones for kids. Like there's like how many versions? How many different? There's like 5 different live action movies now that have been done. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I will say this, that, it's like Matt, it just didn't connect with me. However, on one of our last episodes, we had Thrasher, the guy who played Thrasher
in the latest
It was
movie.
great.
Yeah.
and he was lovely. We had so much fun with him, and it actually made me want to go check that out.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too.
True.
Me
True.
too.
But again,
All right.
the newest one is Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg wrote it. They seem to know what I enjoy
Okay.
all the time. Most
Yeah.
of 80% of stuff they've written, I've enjoyed and had fun at.
Me too.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
I think they remember. Matt and we talked about it again when we were writing Batman. All we were thinking about was both to entertain ourselves, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking about leaving cool nerd stuff for the next generation.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Some of
That's
the
cool.
Mutant Ninja Turtle, it didn't seem like that they were trying to make something great. It seemed more like a job.
Okay.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
Well, this was a good topic, though. James, thanks so much for explaining stuff. I really appreciate it.
No, it was good.
So, Matt, what do you say?
Wait, did they skip me? Do I get a turn?
I thought you
Well, I
did.
don't know.
Go ahead. Gene. Go ahead. I thought
No,
you
I mean
mentioned
picking.
some-
I mean picking from one. Did they? Didn't I?
yeah,
get
you
it?
did.
Oh,
you
okay.
did.
I forgot what I picked.
It's John, Sean, Larry, James, the Matt. So it's
Oh yeah,
Matt's turn.
gotcha.
That's okay.
So
you want to take my
unless you wanna-
turn?
do you want to?
No, that's okay. That's okay. You just go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
You're dead to me.
Matt, just say when, man.
When?
Okay. All right. Looks like it's another old one here.
Yay.
Uh-oh.
This one says, "Oh my God." I think this is Sean's writing.
Oh my
What?
God. That's a fucking novel.
It's like a novel.
What?
Okay. Name a piece of incidental soundtrack music, not the main theme, from a film or TV show so evocative that hearing one or two notes immediately transports you back to when you first saw the film or show.
Okay, that was not me. That is
Okay,
not
it's not
me.
you.
Not
Is this
me.
James?
It was not me. It was not me.
It's got to be
No.
a former guest.
John?
No,
John, is
that's
this
not
you?
me.
I fell
Mike,
asleep during the
look
middle
at
of
this.
it. So could you read it again?
Okay, so name
I'm
a
kidding.
piece. Name a piece of incidental soundtrack music, not the main theme, from a
Okay.
film or TV show so evocative that
Right.
hearing one or two notes immediately transports you back to when you first saw the film or show. Okay, I think
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. I got it.
Okay, Matt, but it's Matt. It's you.
Okay. So the first one would be from Outer Limits, the TV show, the original TV show from the 60s.
Right.
Not the main
So-
theme.
So
Can't be
it's
the main theme.
right here. It is. It's da 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 da. Bah, 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 bah. And they just keep playing that over
Yeah,
and over
yeah,
again,
yeah.
and it scares the fuck out of you.
It's
Wow.
Dominic Frontier, I think, right?
Frontier,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frontier. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a
and
good
and
one.
there, and then of course the other one is sing along, everybody. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that is really cool. I mean, for me, I'm not going to sing it, but it's like it's in Blade Runner when the spinner is flying over the city, and you have that do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do. That to me, when I hear
love
that, I go,
Yeah.
"Oh, I get chills," because that shot is just so amazing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
That's a good one. All right. I have one. I can whistle it.
Okay,
Let's
See if you recognize it.
okay. I can't hear it,
So
buddy.
are you fucking with us?
Oh, you
Because we
can't
don't
hear
hear
that?
anything.
No,
Oh
I
my God,
can't.
really?
I can't.
Okay.
Maybe
Like
it's
only
not
dogs can
picking
hear
it.
it.
It's
Just
not
hum it.
picking it up.
Just
Okay,
hum it.
I'll just hum it. Okay, here I go. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
Oh, there we go. But that's the main theme.
That is the main thing.
Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, is
That's
it?
the main
We
theme.
can't do
Yeah.
main themes?
You- Not the
it
main
says
theme.
it
Oh.
is.
Damn
It
it,
says no
Sean.
main theme.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry,
so that
Sean.
was
It
cool,
says not a
Jack.
main
Okay,
theme.
I have to
Yes,
think.
but
Then I have to think of something else.
okay, well,
All
we'll
right.
come back to you.
We'll
come
come
back
back to you.
James.
All right.
James?
Okay, well, the Halloween theme by John Carpenter is very, very well known, but
Yes.
the shape theme when he's
Yes.
talking, boom, 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 boom,
Oh,
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
oh,
boom,
that's
boom,
ding,
boom,
ding,
boom,
ding,
boom,
ding,
boom,
ding,
boom,
ding, 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 ding. You're
Yeah.
right.
That's
That's
good.
great.
Very
That's
powerful.
great, James.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, then one of the most famous pieces of horror music, and it's not in the main theme, is the
Ooh.
Psycho shower music.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
not. That, yeah, that's
that's
only
the
that
most-
section. Yeah, that I mean the dun dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun,
right.
dun.
That's the main
That's the
theme, yeah.
classic main theme.
That's
but
the
the
main
actual
theme, yeah.
but the actual screeching violins
Right.
is that's iconic.
Can you
Yeah.
do your impersonation of that, please?
I just did.
No, can you do it again? Okay,
Like
all
that,
right.
right?
And
You and
Hitchcock,
B-Fox.
Hitchcock
Yeah.
didn't want to
Check it.
use music in that scene originally, but Herman had to convince him to use it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
John, how
That's
about
good.
you? John, you got a piece of music?
I'm gonna go with the Mothership 5, the tones from
Oh,
Close
good.
Encounters.
That's a great one.
Good.
Close Encounters,
great,
yes.
Yeah.
Doo-doo-doo.
Or anything John Carpenter did.
John Williams.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Wait,
yeah.
what? Wait, did you say anything that John Carpenter did? But John
Yeah.
Carpenter didn't do the
Any synth stuff that he does
No,
in
he's
the background.
saying and
Compositing.
anything that Carpenter.
Yeah.
But did you? I remember going into like the warehouse or record factory or one of those places and picking up the 45 of, was it the Miko version of that?
Oh yeah.
Or is it
yes.
the Moog Orchestra?
Or was it the Moog one? It's not Miko because that was disco, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it
because
must've been
I
that.
had
But it was
the
like
Moog
it was like
Orchestra.
a pop version though.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Larry, do you know what I'm talking about?
I had the Moog. The Moog one was like electronic. It was all
Yeah.
electronic, and
Miko did do a version of the Close Encounters theme.
But there was one that was kind of like, it was sort of, it felt
Jazzy.
like if it was jazz, right? It was jazzy. It was
Yeah.
like,
Really?
like the Star Wars one that
right.
Oh, yeah,
It felt like it was more like the theme music for a 70s show.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah
Hmm.
on TV show.
Yes, yes. I remember that. Yeah.
So no one recognizes this printing.
Yeah, I don't know who that
It's
is.
not mine.
Well, we had a good time with it. It's
But
actually
this
there
was
were
fun.
several other guests that could have been
This
from.
it's funny because this writing is. I almost want to frame this. This is so
Yeah.
great.
the other one that I like too, and is one as a kid that could actually almost bring me to tears because I loved it so much, was in Logan's Run, the romance theme that was like,
Oh yeah. 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 Jerry Goldsmith. Beautiful.
The love theme.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I got to tell you, this has been a lot of fun. It's been great to bring out the skull. What do you guys say we do like one more? Make it like a lightning round. Make it really fast.
Sounds good.
Let's
What do you
do it.
say?
Done.
All right. So, John, I'm just going to pull one out for you. Okay.
Yes.
Pull one out. Okay. Let's do this quickly. This is best sci-fi character costume.
Oh,
Best
Jeez.
sci-fi character.
I'm gonna go
costume.
with Sean Connery in
I know it.
What?
what was his name? God, why am I blanking on?
I know what you're gonna say.
Zardoz. You're
Zardoz.
Zardoz.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. That's a good
Good
one.
man.
The red diaper. Is that the diaper? That's the
Yeah.
diaper. Well, it's not a. It's we say it's a diaper. It's not a diaper. It's his shorts.
I'm sure he would. I'm sure he didn't shit in it.
No, it's post-apocalyptic apparel.
I just wanted to be the guy bringing it into the room for him to see the first time.
Yeah.
Could not have been easy.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you make it red?
No, he wouldn't say. He'd go,
Why didn't you do it as Sean Connery too?
He wouldn't red. That's great, John. For me, it was the astronaut outfits in the film Alien.
Great choice.
Those were so they looked futuristic. They looked like real, and they were just so great. And I just thought to myself, when I saw them in the space outfits, I thought, oh, this is a real film. This is a real sci-fi film. That's like one of my favorite costumes.
I'll go along the same lines. Maybe not that realistic, but man, do I love them. And that's the space outfits from Planet of the Vampires.
Love them. With the
Those
collar.
cool black leather spacesuits with high collars, and they're awesome. And man, somebody's gonna make figures of those characters.
I know, right?
Yeah,
we should dress up as those guys.
Yeah,
I know. Yes.
The question: what outfit would you want to wear around?
Yeah, see that
every single one we just mentioned.
Yeah, totally, absolutely.
Especially the diaper.
No, I'd wear the vampires one. That's much better. But James.
Well, this might be more armor than costume, but I go for the classic stormtrooper from Star Wars.
With you.
Sure, absolutely, iconic.
Nothing.
I'm with you. Hands down, I think one of the greatest designs in all of science fiction.
Yes,
agreed. I mean, look how influential it was too. Look how many other wannabe Star Wars movies and TV shows kind of sort of copied the style of those, and with their trooper character. Like it's just so influential.
The Vader costume is certainly, impactful, but you get a whole bunch of like an army of stormtroopers standing there, action figures are in a scene, and it's awesome.
It's impressive.
Or cosplayers that get together and go to conventions.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's one of those things that, like, one of these days I'm going to buy a stormtrooper costume. Like, I love the stormtroopers so much.
Yeah,
that's a great choice.
What would your dollar amount be?
To pay?
A couple grand to get a decent one?
Yeah, to get like a really good one. Yeah.
And people forget, though. I'll never forget the night of the Academy Awards. Star Wars won for best costume design, and that was John Molo. And I remember thinking to myself, and they showed the costumes on the stage with the Darth Vader and the Stormtrooper. And when you look, it's funny because the other nominees for that year, you had Edith Head for Airport 77. You also had the film Julia, A Little Night Music, and The Other Side of Midnight. These were films that were nominated for best costume design. And it's like Star Wars really stands out. But anyway, the designs that they came up with is just brilliant.
I'm so happy you said that. I got a couple here. First of all, from Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the Ursus costume.
The helmet.
Yes.
With the helmet.
The helmet.
So great.
Love that. That is one of my favorite things ever. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then I got to pick out two from the Star Trek universe, of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's nice. So James is showing us his Ursus figure.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, and that I love that helmet especially. But I love the way that the gorilla costumes look.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
They're scary and tough and cool.
Cool.
And and the other thing that I love, and this it's sort of similar, but in Star Trek, the second generation Klingon uniforms.
Okay.
So not from the TV show.
You're talking about the motion picture?
The motion pictures
Motion
and
picture.
then the series.
Those are great. Those
All
are
the
great
ones
costumes.
I love them in almost every incarnation. And then also from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the Cardassians.
Yeah, those are cool too.
Those are great.
Thing, nice.
With the whole breastplate and the makeup.
Very cool.
Very cool. I love looking at them.
All right. So we all talked. Okay. So now, Sean, I'm going to pull one out for you now.
Okay.
Okay. This looks like it's a newer one. This one says What is your most frightening buried alive scene in movies? What is your most frightening buried alive scene in movies? I gotta think about that.
I know what that one is actually.
Oh,
this is a movie for me. I mean, there are other ones, but this one just has such a impact on me as a kid. There is a TV movie from the early 70s, that golden age of great horror TV movies, a film called The Screaming Woman. And it's Olivia de Havilland, who, of course, is recovering from some nervous breakdown that she had. And she, she's living in this big house, and she thinks she's wandering around her backyard or something and in a field, and she thinks she hears a woman like crying and screaming. And it turns out that her neighbor is this guy who tries to kill his wife and then bury her, not realizing that she's still alive. So she's like stuck moaning and grasping and clawing inside this like shallow grave. And Olivia de Havilland thinks she hears her, but then people come over and they don't hear it. They think she's going crazy. And it's great though. But there's these shots of like this woman, claustrophobic shots of her like crying and scraping at their little handmade coffin under the ground. And it's really creepy and always freaked me out. So that's awesome. Yeah. So good buried alive movie.
There's a sequence in Kill Bill 2 when our main character is given a choice about she's going to be buried in a coffin, and does she want a mace in the face or does she want the flashlight? And it's a very intense scene. And then, she goes through this process of trying to escape, always kind of freaked me out. But there's the second one that is really powerful to me is from the film The Vanishing from 1988. This is the Dutch. This is the original Dutch version. Yeah. And I don't want to give too much away. If listeners want to check that film out, it's great. It was remade with Jeff Bridges, and that's not the one you want to see. You want to see this original one from 1988, which involves being buried alive. So check that one out.
Cool.
James?
The Kill Bill Volume 2, for sure. That came to my mind first. But then there's a Stephen King story called Autopsy Room 4. It's not strictly about being buried underground, but it's about a patient who is presumed medically dead by doctors. So they start to conduct an autopsy, but he's actually still alive. So he's experiencing this, is told sort of in the first person.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very, very effective.
Wow.
So yeah, that definitely comes to mind.
Nice.
John, you want to give us one?
Blood Simple?
Blood Simple?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that. Refresh my memory.
I don't.
Wasn't the guy buried in it?
It's like the first Coen Brothers movie with Emmett Walsh.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm just trying to remember.
I just remember it scared the hell out of me, but I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one to revisit again.
I remember loving that movie.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
So
I'm
Matt,
thinking these guys are going to go places.
Yep.
Yeah, but wasn't the idea of, wasn't it Carla's husband from Cheers? What's that guy's name? Wasn't the idea that he was presumed, if I'm wrong, do you guys remember? Remember they killed him, they thought they buried him, and then he came back at the end?
Wow.
Yeah. Like, again, it's been so long.
It's been a while.
Now you're making us now want to all watch that again.
Right.
Yeah, now I got to watch Blood Simple again, or I might be completely wrong. That's the only thing I could think of.
That's okay.
And
that's
then
all right.
Same thing. I could only think with Larry, what you said was Kill Bill was a great one too.
That's a good one too. Yeah. Matt, you got one for us?
I would say the Universal version of The Mummy and the Hammer version of The Mummy.
Yes.
Both of the flashbacks where they're showing the burial where what's his name? The name of the mummy character. I can't remember.
Imhotep.
Yeah. Is being buried alive.
Being wrapped up.
Yeah. And there's that scene where you actually see Boris Karloff's scared face being covered up gradually by the bandages. Yes. And that is so horrifying.
Agreed.
And they do a pretty good job of that also in the Hammer version. But the original is the one that really sticks with me.
Yeah.
Good one.
All right, good. All right. So now it's my turn. Let's stick my hand in, pull out. It's like, favorite Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing pair up. Okay. Okay. There's a film that it's not what you think. It's Horror Express.
That's mine.
Because
I love that one.
I think people were thinking maybe Dracula and Van Helsing. It's the first one that came to my mind because I like the guys. I always wanted to see them work as a team.
That's what it is. That's what it is, Larry. Because they're not fighting each other. They're working together to fight another monster. I love it.
And people rip on that film, but I love that film.
I do too.
So cool. I think it's underrated.
I agree.
Very.
It's like on Horror Express. There's
Spooky.
Train, and
It's got
there's
everything.
snow, and there's
Telly Savalas.
Telly Savalas, but there's some kind of this creature, this thing that's in a box that somehow it there's something inside that gets into other people, and
it's horror, it's sci-fi.
It's so Sean. It's
great.
So that was the first thing that popped in my head. So
I agree.
Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing-Pera. All right. Anyone else?
I'm gonna go with the obvious, The Curse of Frankenstein, because I saw that as a kid.
Yeah.
And it just drove me. We saw it. It was for some reason the school would show movies like on a Saturday or a Friday or something. So you're in the auditorium at another school watching it, and I just remembered it. So it just always stuck with me as a kid.
Nice,
right?
Nice, James.
Well, I'm going to cheat because this is not a pair up, but I love the fact that they're both in the Star Wars franchise. As Grand Moff Tarkin and Count Dooku. I think even though the first three parts 1, 2, and 3 are not well regarded, I just love the fact that they're both in the franchise in the main film. So that's
that's true. And now with all the different new shows, like they're always referencing Moff Tarkin and Count Dooku, like they're you're right, they're in the universe together, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Good one, James. Matt?
I would say once again the Hammer version of The Mummy, because I think that Christopher Lee does an amazing job working through that makeup and the costume. He delivers a really magnificent performance, and I think that's a hard thing to do, considering to some actors that would be a thankless job of being in that mummy costume. And he really, for the first time for me, made the mummy scary.
Yeah,
scary mummy, and Cushing is always great. So I would say that one, and I'd also like to throw in a movie called The Skull. And so Christopher Lee is like an occult collector, and so is Peter Cushing, and they both want this skull of the Marquis de Sade, and Cushing ultimately gets it, and now this skull, which is possessed by the Marquis de Sade, is just terrorizing him. The only problem with that movie is now, because it's come out in such nice quality, that you see strings all over the place of this skull flying around.
It's supposed to be floating, chasing him.
But
I still love it.
Yeah, me too.
That's funny. That's great. Nice one. Okay. All right. So James, it's your turn. I'm going to take out one for you.
Yeah, go.
We're making it quick, man. Making it quick.
Yeah.
All right. This one says, favorite non-horror role for Bela Lugosi.
Wow.
Non-horror. Wow.
Well, I mean, you could say like The Invisible Ray, movies like that, I guess. I can't.
Kind of sci-fi horror, though.
Yeah. Wow. I don't even know. I mean,
I think wasn't he like in a serial called like The Return of Shandu, and he was like a mystic seer guy. He was like the hero, I think.
Kind of genre. I mean,
it was like
weird.
Did he ever go outside the genre? Really? I don't know.
Was he in an episode of like?
No, he has.
Was he in an episode of like Donna Reed or?
No.
He was in some early Charlie Chan films, and where like he was like the misdirect. You thought maybe he'd be the bad guy, but he wasn't. I know that's not genre, but it's mystery.
No.
It's
he played the role of Jesus on stage.
Right.
But this is the funny thing is, after Dracula, he got put into that category.
Yes, more than any other. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I'm trying to rack my brain. I don't know of something that Bela Lugosi did. And then you think, he did a TV show. No, he was. It was genre related. So I don't.
Okay,
know.
well, wait a minute. How about the film Mark of the Vampire, which is the remake of London After Midnight? Because that one, although it's not. It sounds like it would be horror, but it's really a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
because spoiler alert, it's like Scooby-Doo. He's not really a vampire.
Yeah,
No,
but it's still it's kind of considered
Look,
horror
I'm
genre.
grasping at straws here, Sean.
Yeah,
Come
I know.
on.
It's a toughie. It's
Yeah,
a toughie.
it is tough though. It's amazing how much he got typecast.
Maybe John Matta has an idea here. John, any thoughts?
No.
Oh, he was
I remember one fact, and I don't know whether this was true, that, do you guys ever hear this? Wasn't in the movie like Fantasia, they used him,
Okay, yes. Okay,
but he was never in it actually.
No.
Okay.
So the story is, and Forey Ackerman asked Walt Disney, who confirmed it. There was a rumor that Bela Lugosi was used as the model for the Balrog character in The Night on Bald Mountain. Right. It's the big guy. The problem with there are photos of him posing. The issue that they have is, yes, it's true that Lugosi came out and he posed and he did some things, but they felt that he didn't have the build that they wanted. So then they got in another guy, which is why that Balrog guy has the big chest and stuff like that. So yes, Lugosi was brought in to model, but they didn't actually use. My understanding is they didn't actually use his image or anything like that. But but still,
actually, wait, Bela Lugosi was in the Greta Garbo comedy Ninochka from 1949.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he was in a supporting part. Ninochka, yeah, and that's a classic comedy film. He was in that, and that's so that would count.
Oh my god,
and that's a pretty well regarded film. It's a popular movie. So.
It is. Sean, thanks. I didn't even think about. Wow,
we got there.
Great one. We did. We did.
Takes a village.
It does. Okay, that was great. Okay, all right. So that was James. So Matt,
yes,
you're bringing it home here.
All right,
I'm going to pull out one. Okay, I'm pulling this out. The last question of the night. Oh, what sci-fi movie vehicle would you like to own in real life?
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty easy. I have my first choice. Right off the bat.
Spinner. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would say me too. Close second would be the Tron light cycle.
I'd say the time machine. That's what I would
That's a good one.
Because then I could go back in time and get those toys from the 50s that I want so badly. Nick.
That's right.
James?
I'll take the Millennium Falcon. I think it would be pretty cool.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's a great choice.
I thought you were going to say Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Well,
that's sci-fi.
No, isn't that more of a fantasy?
Fantasy, sci-fi.
But James, it's a piece of junk.
It made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Chitty Chitty and the Falcon have a lot of things in common, but we'll save that for another show.
That's a whole episode.
Well, John, why don't you bring us home here, buddy? Why don't you tell us what
I like the big mom travel in the van from Lost in Space.
The chariot.
The chariot.
That
I like that.
Because that could be something I could actually use here.
Yeah.
Hey, John, they had the original model at Comic-Con this last year.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
I know what I love about that is that the windows are really big and high. Like it's you can see all around you.
Nice. Got a room.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, I bet bringing that thing to the drive-in, that would have been a lot nicer, right?
Yes, it would have.
Place for the farts to go.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Well, guys, this has been fun. This has been great.
This has been a good one, right?
Yeah,
this
is
good, reliable. Topic.
Always a good time.
Yeah.
And we, I don't have many of these.
Look at that.
We're gonna have to start supplying.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think we should go through those first, though, before we resupply.
Okay, yes, I agree. I agree. So, John, thanks so much for being with us. Is there, if for our listeners, is there anything that you're not working on anything, but I mean, what about that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Where will you be striking this week?
No, if people wanted to see stuff that you had worked on, like the napkin stuff, or like, how can they check this stuff out?
Well, yeah, I think
you're still doing it, right?
Yeah, we're tentatively going to be doing another book. it's just trying to figure out like everything, the dough. And then I got offered a show to do. I started drawing chick tracts with animated
Wow.
characters in them, and then I got offered an art show. Those guys that did it didn't register at a federal level, but all the guys that I put in, like the kids from Family Circus in it. All those guys will sue me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think hopefully trying to do another book. It's just trying to figure out financially if you can do it or make money, or if people even like books anymore.
Right.
Sure.
But other than that, yeah. And then just, I think like with everybody, waiting to see whether we're all going to be able to make money doing this again one day, or is this all going to become like a hobbyist thing? Like you should just stay in your hometown and just work in local theater.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
You're seeing a lot of people that's a good thing. It's like COVID. You're in really good company with people.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
So, like I said, like every time you're out there, you're seeing another actor, another writer, and everybody is a little bit nicer than the next, which is
That's
weird.
great.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
fun to see two actors and writers not looking over the people doing the deals over their shoulder. Like you figure out, like Rose, my wife's on a show called Gilmore Girls, which is the most streamed show, and James Gunn did a thing about it too. They don't make any residuals on that. It's insane.
That's
really?
It's
How's
about
that
a
even
middle class
possible?
lifestyle. That's really what you want to make sure that you can do. So it's something to see on stuff of how these streamer guys are doing things. So, and again, we're all going to be paying more for streaming services coming up. Every service is now going $2-3 more next month, I think, isn't it?
Really?
I think that's true. Yeah.
Disney's going up $2. And then you turn on Max and you go, wait, they just sold Ballers to Netflix? So you're watching shitty cable shows being sold to other guys.
That's weird too. You find older stuff that like is just moving around from streaming channel to streaming channel that didn't originate there. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what. Yeah, it's so
and then
weird.
You wonder if like your taste, and I'm sure you guys feel it. It's like when you love, like I really like that Game Time, which they did. But it seems like sometimes you go, man, am I the kiss of death to something? Like the Goodman show that you're talking about that's going to be all monsters. Like, remember, Ash versus the Evil Dead, they would have done 5 more seasons of that, but nobody would pay for stars. Everybody just torrented it.
Yeah, and that was a great that show could have done easily another couple seasons too.
Bruce Campbell would have given you this for 4 more years if you wanted to do it.
Exactly.
He wanted to do it. And
I know.
Nerds wouldn't pay for it.
It's weird. I know.
Well, I did.
I did.
Me too. We got stars specifically for that show.
Yeah.
Well, and you're bringing up a very good point, which is that isn't by really pricing everybody out of streaming and gouging, aren't you really forcing people to maybe do some illegal things?
Well, we grew up in a generation where kids didn't pay for music. I mean, I still do for artists that I love because I want artists to make more stuff.
Right.
So it's harder, but I mean, maybe the good thing is you're going to see guys, the kids today that are just so fast and how quick they shoot with digital stuff. Not a lot of people care about film. Like I saw Oppenheimer and it was great.
Yeah.
But did I need to see it at Grauman's Chinese in 70 millimeter?
I did, yes.
It's a pretty talky movie.
Well, it's still amazing. It's still beautiful.
But it's still, it's a great way to see. It was wonderful, but the new kids are going to figure out ways to make stuff. So I don't know what this is also a very interesting time to be alive. Like, what are the new horror things or kids? How are they going to do it? Will kids even go to movie theaters as much anymore?
Well,
I know.
I don't mind them coming up with ways to make things as long as they don't come up with a way to make things without us.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you're going to see probably more guys like younger Sam Raimi's with their actors and stuff, and they'll do 4 or 5 movies. It's getting easier and easier to shoot stuff. So,
but as you were pointing out too, that there's so much content out there, and yet trying to find the good stuff can be difficult.
yeah,
That if everything looks slick, because one thing I've noticed, especially when it comes to horror movies, is that there really is this template now where everything sort of looks the same. Even the scares are kind of the same.
Yep.
And so when somebody does something different visually, like, Mandy, for example, it really sticks out.
it'll happen again. I mean, it always does. I mean, the weird thing is, like right now, when things are really bad, you're supposed to get really good music. Things have been really bad for a little while now. And my question is, where's the really good music?
Yeah.
And same thing with art and stuff. So there maybe like with towns like Cleveland and places where it's nobody wants to live there, they're going to be little communities of guys making stuff together.
The punk aesthetic, I think, is ripe for this moment.
It's true, because it is like how horror genre has become so mainstream now. So because of that, you get a lot of watered down stuff. You get a lot of sameness. It's not like, horror sometimes is best when nobody's looking, and somebody's making amazing stuff. It's like,
Sure, where like an Ari Aster comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. People are just left alone and like come out with something, just make something good. And it's
harder too to go to a smaller theater, I always loved in Los Angeles, like that 99-cent theaters and stuff where you could go see for stuff. And there's really not even a lot of small art house theaters in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we're just all going to start booking out of town and be in other states and go, cooler theaters are going to come back, I think.
I think so.
Well, hey, John, on an upbeat, positive note, it's been really great to have you on the show.
It has been.
It's been a lot of fun.
We can edit this all out. It'll be
No,
it's great.
And you guys remain my favorite show to listen to, because it's always 6-7 walks with my dog Henry at night where I got you guys with me.
Oh, that's great.
Flashlight where I'm going, oh my God, a skunk. Oh my God, Larry. Are you mad at Larry again? Please don't be mad at Larry. Let him love things.
Well, thanks to John
again for having me. I remain.
Of course.
Thanks for being here.
We love having you on.
We love you every single time. And we'll see you very soon. Let's raise our glasses.
Yes, let's do that.
To
toast
Free for All and John Matta.
Yeah.
He's not drink anymore.
Cheers.
I'm drinking.
Time for a listener shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out Free for All.
Yeah. Just pick your own shout out.
Well, we got a lot of great comments on social media about the Collector's Call episode with Matt.
Nice.
We did. So this is kind of a viewer shout out.
Yes, indeed it is. I want to single out our friend and longtime listener, Victor Velasquez from Chicago.
Yeah.
We've had the pleasure of hanging out with Victor at G-Fest in Chicago when he came to Monsterpalooza in LA as well.
Yeah.
And Victor writes, "This is just great. Looking forward to it and the new commentary track. Congratulations. Congratulations on all the well-deserved success. You guys do fantastic work."
That's nice. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor.
Hey, thank you, Victor.
We appreciate that, and we appreciate you listening. So
very much so, yeah. And I've been looking on social media, and there's been a lot of really great comments, and people were looking forward to it before it was airing, and But it was a great time. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll be on Collector's Call again. What do you think, Larry?
Maybe so.
Or maybe you guys will be on.
Maybe.
You never know.
You never know.
Never know.
Because we've certainly put in a good word for you guys.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
I mean, let's face it. When you're comparing somebody else to the Monster Party guys, come on.
Nobody else who's a good, has a great collection, and I have to stop. I have to stop Larry from going, well, great collection. And then no.
It wasn't that bad.
No. Yeah. So who knows? Who knows what the future will bring?
Yep.
But I got to thank everybody at Collector's Call for just being so kind to us and doing such a wonderful job on that episode. It really was a dream come true for me.
Well, speaking of collections, one thing that's really fun to collect is Monster Party merch.
Yeah.
And you can,
Where's
That's
that
true.
Collector's Call?
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm a Monster Party collection. Wow. That's a lot of size larges.
We're talking about shot glasses. We're talking about T-shirts.
Yeah.
We're talking about the legendary Monster Party cap. We're talking about PPE cloth masks.
Very important.
Yes, indeed. And you can find all of these wonderful items on our eBay store, which is Monster Party Store. And if you happen to also be a Monster Party Patreon member and order merch from our eBay store, then we will throw in free goodies, surprises, courtesy of Jason Lindsay and Biff Bang Pow Toys and Ted Haynes, creature creator extraordinaire.
So much like this episode, if you are a Patreon member and you order merch, you will get a surprise gift, just like a surprise topic. So that gift could be almost a topic that you bring up. Like maybe you have your own little round table of friends and people. When you pull this thing out, you go, oh, I didn't know it was going to be this. And then you talk about it for the next, 10, 15 minutes. And how could that not be a good time?
That's right.
So what is this Patreon anyway? It feels like it's been a few weeks, and I remember vaguely that you told me about it, but I just can't remember what it is. So can you refresh my memory, please? What is this Patreon I keep hearing about?
Look, James, I don't mean to give you a hard time, but I think that we need to take some of the money that we're making from all this merch and buy you a really good quality helmet. Because something is going on between shows, and I'm worried. I'm really worried about you. But you know what? I'm gonna say this slowly so it sinks in.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Patreon is a platform that if you sign up for it, you will get bonus material from Monster Party. And so we're talking about bonus audio episodes, our shows like Larry's Toy Time and Sean's Toy Time and James's Toy Time and someday my Toy Time and Monster Party Masterpieces, all kinds of great shows. And there are these story collections that my stepfather-in-law, John Bordeaux, puts together of vintage sci-fi and horror. So you get that. And then there's our Japan trip that we chronicled through numerous videos. And so there's just a lot of stuff. We've got a nice back catalog of things that you can go through, and we're always adding to it.
Not like Netflix where it's on and then they take it off.
No, you're right. You know what? I'm glad that you brought that up because that is exactly right. We don't take anything away. We're not going to then limited time. No, it's there because we want people to see it. We want people to enjoy this stuff because unlike maybe a lot of people out there, we like you.
I would also throw in that recently, now that it's been like convention season, we've had convention coverage, Monsterpalooza, and Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, oh, here's 3 minutes of highlights.
No.
Yeah,
we're talking
extensive
like
half hour or longer.
Yeah.
And James once again does a great job of editing these things together.
Yes.
So much fun. These have been so much fun, and I'm hoping that our Patreon subscribers will also find them great fun too, to just be there with us and share what we're into. And whether or not you can attend these conventions vicariously, I hope you can attend them with us and just see what we get excited about.
Well said.
Well, this sounds amazing, but I gotta say, what with the price of all these streaming services going up now, I think I gotta put away a little cash. I don't know if I can afford this Patreon. How much is it going to run?
Oh, don't put away your money, James, because with Patreon, unlike Netflix and all these other streaming channels, we're keeping our price at the same level. For $5 a month, you get access to everything that our Patreon has to offer.
That's pretty
What?
amazing. You can't get a secondhand guar mask for that price.
Oh, no, you
Sure
can't.
Wow.
No, if I got one for $5, that'd be the greatest day of my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Okay,
even
well,
clean
you know
the
what?
inside.
I'm in, Matt. How do I join?
So all you got to do is you go to patreon.com, you go to Monster Party, you click join, you follow the instructions, and next thing you know, you'll be streaming joy directly into your soul. On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I'm Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Strothe.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong.
And have your own topic free for all.
Because the skull's back, baby.
And the mold too, fool! Hi, John Matta.
Hello, my friend.
Hey, John.
Always so
Hello,
good
gents.
to see your always so good to see your sweet face.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
I need to clear up some storage on my dumb computer, and it's going very well.
You're killing it.
It's
Good.
really I've really mastered this. Getting rid of things I shouldn't have got in the first place. How much sweetest erotica does one man need?
11 gigs.
Yeah, and I got it. I got it years ago, John. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Hey there, how's it going? I have my I'm back with this mic, so hopefully this is better.
I love it. How do I sound?
I just forgot last time. You sound good. Yeah, you sound more present.
Hi. Yes, Sean. Sean, you have the floor.
Okay, just so you know, I'm just waiting for an email for work to have to get a link to send off to people. So I might at some point I'm just going to have to take 5 minutes. So when
John, is that all right with you?
Yeah, I'll scat.
Well, no, yeah, no, it won't be that. I'm
He might have to.
monitoring.
No,
Yeah,
I
he'll
will
have to-
definitely want to scat.
I'm just
I see.
monitoring my email. So as soon as I get it, I'll just take 5 minutes, send it off. Now I'll make sure we
Then
do it
he'll
a
come
break
back.
between a topic. You know,
Yes, and then in the meantime, John Matta will be scatting,
cool.
which I've always
Record that.
enjoyed. Yeah, well, which is kind of that's something you can't really teach. It's a
No.
natural ability.
It's a
Because
calling.
if I do it, it just sounds cartoonish. You do it, it's like it's from the soul. It's from the bayou. All right, well, that's our show.
All right.
Good one. Another good one.
Well, I guess so. We keep losing people. Oh, so I guess Larry. Oh, he's back. Here we go.
Oh,
All
cool.
right, there we go. Hi, Larry. Yes.
Remember Hello, Larry with McLean Stevenson?
Oh yeah, it's classic.
You know, I always remembered the reference, but I never actually watched an episode.
Yeah, I think I tried one. It was like unbearable.
Wasn't for a while, John, back me up here. Wasn't that sort of like go-to show? Hey, it's like he's, might as well be on an episode of Hello, Larry.
Yeah,
right?
they're always making
It was-
fun of it. But it was, I watched everything on TV because it was on TV.
Well, right. Yes. And we've discussed this in the past, but in a lot of ways, that was really a godsend because it made us film connoisseurs, film buffs, because you watched the movie that was on.
Right.
That was
And
it.
so I watched every, things that I never would have initially in my creature features years turned on, like, Pillow Talk.
Right.
Hey, when did you all find out what color Lucille Ball's hair was?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
You mean her real?
Well, I guess, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So at the same time I was watching I Love Lucy, Here's Lucy was also on at the same time. So I think I kind of, so that was, but that's cheating.
But didn't they constantly refer to her as a redhead in the
They
original I
did,
Love
yes.
Lucy? I mean,
But I
it was like,
didn't-
you
it
crazy
didn't-
redhead.
It meant
But it was
nothing
just
to
a
me.
different color of gray. We didn't
Yeah,
have a
well,
color
yeah.
TV till I went to college. So
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and
I
I Love Lucy was never color.
I didn't know Dorothy when it all turned color.
Oh, right.
It was colored toys in college.
Right.
I never met an actual redhead until I think my early 30s.
I was just shocked to find out that Gail Gordon was a natural blonde.
Is he? You know what? I could see that.
True.
Could you imagine him with long, flowing Fabio-esque
Yeah.
hair and the
Ooh.
shirt open? I would have read those novels. So it's surprising that I'm not hearing Larry. Larry, are you with us? I don't have your voice, Larry. If you can hear me, he's working on it.
Somebody's stolen his voice.
I will not have that. Did you guys watch?
There's a lucky man or lady somewhere. Or a nice cat.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the voice first and then it's the heart. Did any of you guys watch our little collector's call thing?
We don't. Yeah, I'm waiting.
Oh, you don't have it. That's
link,
right. Yeah.
But you know, as soon as James can work his magic, I'll.
I recorded it.
I hear it's. I mean, I looked at the web page where it goes through your collection. That's great.
Yeah, it was fun.
You know?
It was good.
I mean, where they talk about all the different things and the value. I saw that. So that's awesome.
They picked some good items.
That's cool.
Nice.
And it was interesting that in some places the guy who was the expert, Gavin Hignite, he would undervalue certain things and then overvalue others. And
was he like supposedly he was an expert on these values?
Well, he's the guy who he's one of the two guys who has that company that makes the prisoner figures.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wandering
nice
Planet,
guy.
Wandering
Planet
Toys,
Toys, yes.
Yeah,
and very nice guy. I mean, you know, the 2 minutes he's over here, it's like, okay, yeah, this is one of us.
Did he ballpark your house? What your collection is worth? Everything?
Yeah. And he came up with a number that was like 500 grand, which is pretty nice. And then I thought about it later. Like at first I kind of disagreed with them and I thought, well, maybe it is around there, but because there's a lot of things that he doesn't know that I have.
Right.
Okay.
But then the problem is, you know how you go on eBay and you say, oh, look at that it's going for, but no one's bought it. So
right,
it's like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I try to explain sometimes, you know, my wife and I were having this conversation about what something was worth. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, it's supposed to go for this amount, but it's really whatever anyone's going to pay for it at the time. So.
Yeah, because sometimes you see it's the same listing that's there forever and ever on eBay.
Yeah.
You know,
and
just,
you know,
no one ever buys it. They just leave it there for months,
Right.
years. You know?
Yeah. And when, you know, it all comes crashing down and I go into the bunker and then I come out and it's boy and his dog times, I can trade my Petera on a tricycle for a night at the movies.
Right.
Have you guys ever gone on eBay when you see something that's been there for months and months and months and lowball the person and then get a letter back where they really take you to task?
No, really?
I've done that about
No,
8
I've never
times.
done that.
Yeah. They really get mad at you where they explain you don't know the worth of
Well,
it.
that's why nobody's buying it because
I have had, this is always the one that always gets me is that, so you're watching something and you haven't put any bid, you're just watching it. And, you know, sometimes you watch things for years. It's just one of those deals. But then someone will come back with you with an offer, like, you know, you expressed interest in this item. And they offer you like it's going for $200 and they're offering you $199. It's like, why even bought? Like the amount of effort it took to open the computer lid is worth it. You know, I mean, yeah, that gets me. And then there's one guy. So we all have these. I don't know if James, if you have these, but the Dune figures. Do you have Dune figures?
Yeah, Gina has those, the original, the LJN ones. Yeah,
so
I got a lot.
I have those. I have the whole set, and I've been getting the accessories because there were some that I was missing.
That's what we're missing. Some of those,
and some are really hard to find. And so there's the Sadukar warrior that there's a gun, and that's like a kind of the rare figure. Mm-hmm. And so the accessories are going to be more. So I see one and it's going for 60. And I did that thing that you did, John, where I gave him the offer and he came back with, I think it was almost like you all almost came back with a number that was even more than what it was terrible, but it's been there forever. And I would think that after a while, it's like, okay, come on. It's a little plastic gun. Give it to me for 40. But
Yeah.
you know, he's got that kind of money. He's got that kind of time. It's
Hey,
a
guys,
waiting game, John.
I just got that email, so I'm just gonna hop off for 1 second. I'm just gonna stop the video, but
Because
I'll keep listening, but I'll be
here's
back in
Larry.
1 second.
I'm bringing Larry back now.
Okay, I'll be back in 1 second.
All right. Here he comes.
Matt, can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
Yes.
I'm afraid that's the best you're going to get. I don't know what's with the computer and the audio system. So this
You
is
don't
the
have
best.
to tell me, man. Shit happens. And so Sean has to answer an email thing from his work. And so he'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Like 5 minutes, Larry. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I didn't know you were lurking in the back.
I'm
You turn off
lurking.
your
I'm lurking.
screen.
I'm spying on you guys.
Yeah, he turns off his screen like he, left. And,
Yeah.
like, what do they really think of
la
me?
la la. I'm not listening.
So,
Wow.
John, I have one question for you because we've been doing this for a while now.
Yes.
And every time I see you and we talk, I'm always asking about, John, did you ever get the Mego Ben Grimm figure yet?
Yes, it showed up my birthday from Rose.
No way.
I would not allow her to get it in a box for me, which I was fine with. And
Yeah,
it had really solid joints. It had no tears. She went through it with a lady eye.
Yeah.
So I got them hanging up in the collection. Now I don't know what to do. I'm done.
Because it's your collection's complete. It's
Wow.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
You got that holy grail.
Well, there's always stuff on Etsy where people build stuff that
It's not the
like
same.
That stuff
Yeah.
is always
no, it is
that.
the same.
No, it's not
It
the
isn't.
same.
Why are you telling him what's the same or not? Because Etsy stuff can be really cool.
Sure, it can be. Yes.
Why is it?
Yes.
This is what I don't understand, Larry. Why do you suck the ass of the man? I don't understand. Like if it's corporate, if it's mass produced, then it's real. But anything else, some poor schmuck working his ass off in his garage.
It's legitimate. That's why.
No, it's
legitimate.
Good. There's
Look
good.
what a guy drew for me.
Look at that.
Ooh, fan art.
Come on. If somebody made some sort of custom figure and it was perfect, that's just as good for me as anything that's mass produced. And a lot of times that stuff is worth just as much.
Well, okay. Now, see, the word there that you said was if it's perfect, and typically this stuff is not perfect, but look, that doesn't take away from how special it is,
Like Ted Haynes, his giant Aurora thing, that's like dead to you, right? Because it's made by one guy and it's just some dude.
See, I was.
So you don't want that. I have that on the record, right? You don't want that.
No, did I say that? I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. Like, if you were to say, if there's a particular
I got you.
creature. No. Like there's a particular creature item. Like someone brings me a creature item that was made by an artist, and it's like, hey, it's not mass produced. It's like a little work of art, and that's neat. But it's like, because it's not like you're searching for that elusive item. It's like it's an item that just pops up. It's like, oh, that's a neat piece of artwork
It's
or
one
something.
of a kind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
One of a kind. And so for example, on Etsy, as we all know, giant Deep Space Nine fan, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And on Etsy, I've been seeing these amazing. So, they put out all the Star Trek figures from Playmates that are of a certain scale, like 4 inches or so. And there was never any play sets for any Deep Space Nine thing. Well, someone made these really expensive, but great play sets, backgrounds.
Yeah.
And you could buy little pieces, or they had a set where you could buy Quark's bar, everything reproduced perfectly. And, it was more than $1,000, but it was like, when I think about how much work this guy put into it, I get it. And I would love to have that. And that would be like a prized possession.
No, you said that's
for the last 140 days, I've got to see Jerry Ryan every day at the strike.
Oh, yeah, really? Wow.
7 to 9's there every day.
At Paramount?
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers.
It's interesting because there was a thing about her on Facebook that said, you know what? some people think of her as being this big Star Trek, celebrity, but she has been there on a regular basis.
Every day.
You got to give that woman credit, man. That's awesome. That she
Since
puts
the writer's strike, not the actor's strike. So she's been out there 140 some days. She's really good at holding a sign high with one arm. It's amazing to watch. I couldn't do that.
No.
And I always choose a light sign.
So James, what
I do the foam one.
James, what were you trying to say earlier?
No, it was just that Etsy is fun to browse, so you can see stuff that you didn't know existed. But John, are you part of the picket lines? Are you out there picketing every day?
Yeah, it's usually 3 days a week, sometimes 5. It matters kind of what's going on or what I got to get taken care of. But yeah, it's been brutal. But it's weird as fuck because one day there was a baby cow there that people could take pictures with, and then you're walking around, and then Edward James Olmos is always nice to me. I get to see him all the time. He's kind of hoping you don't bring up Battlestar Galactica to him.
Why?
I just think he just wants to just be a guy. He just doesn't want you. But then I saw Beau Bridges, and I said every time I'm in my hometown of Lakewood, or I'm ever on the Jersey Turnpike, there's always a black guy who says that I look like that Beau Bridges motherfucker. Delighted by that. He said, "I'm sorry, you look like a Beau Bridges motherfucker." I go,
I brought up Village of the Giants, and he chased me down the street.
Well, one guy too. I was yelling at him to go do your podcast. The guy who is Tony Anthony something. He's the EP of The Flash.
Yeah, you were yelling at him. Yeah, that's gonna work for us, buddy.
No. He was sitting out to go do your show. He's a huge, like, the minute he got here, he went to Forrest J. Ackerman's house like right away.
Nice.
Collects a lot of movie posters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's one of us.
Guy. So I think he ran it the last 4 or 5 years or something like that.
Nice.
Good, nice, tremendous nerd who's been to every Bob, what's his name? The gorilla guy, Bob
Burns.
Bob Burns. Yeah. So he just, like, as a young guy when he got here, he just started showing up at guys' houses, and you know how those guys were always great to let you in.
Right. Getting back to almost, look, I get it. He's there to, he's making a stand, and he doesn't want people to go, "Oh, you were in, that it was Battlestar Galactica or those other big films," and he was in Blade Runner, right? So
would it be okay if I yelled at him, "She won't live"?
But then again,
he's really a great guy. I think he just wants to be out there as an actor, and then
not as a convention celebrity.
Yeah.
Imagine that
people walk by him and put their hands on his shoulder and take a selfie.
Oh my God, that's wrong.
He's an older guy too, so he's probably maybe in his 80s now, late 70s.
I bet he's also got a right cross in him still.
Yeah. He doesn't fuck around.
Well,
he's beloved by the Latino community too. So
sure, and rightfully so. And look, John, that's not cool too. When people just come up and we live in a different time when people just take selfies all the time and they just jump up and
watch.
And it's it's kind of like when listeners, they can relate. When you go to a convention and you see someone in a cool costume, you always want to ask, make a comment. "That's a great costume. Can I take a picture of you?" Acknowledge the costume, acknowledge them so they go, "Yeah, sure," male or female, it doesn't matter. But to try to do something the sneaky way and then to try and get a selfie it's just not cool.
It's creepy as fuck. Well, the guy I went to high school with in grade school, Michael Cutlitz, who was on Walking Dead, and I guess he's going to be Lex Luthor in the new Superman.
Oh wow!
So I got to see him and all the band of brothers. Yeah, it is kind of impossible. There's always some celebrity that you're going to see that no matter how cool you are, you're just going to yell "I love you" at them, and you don't mean to do it.
Yeah,
I've done that to Wendell Pierce like 4 times now. And I just demand that he has to like me. And
Sure.
How's that
I'm
working?
so embarrassed. Any wire guys, I just go, I love you. I'm sure you guys get it too. It's, I think, too, with like,
Oh yeah, we get it all the time.
well, at like conventions and stuff. Where
You know what?
Kids.
John, I wish someone would touch me at a convention. I should put I should put up a sign, touching booth.
No.
Hey, that's a
But,
good idea.
No, let's not do that. But John, I see your point. As a matter of fact, I think I mentioned this to Matt. Matt used to be on this radio show with Alex Bennett in San Francisco, and Alex Bennett was like a big celebrity.
Big as you could get. He
big,
was
locally, sure,
and
yeah.
He told this story about he just loved the character of Catherine Janeway, and he was actually staying in line to see Kate Mulgrew. And he had this plan about what he was going to say to her. And he wanted to say, Kate Mulgrew, I think you're awesome. You've got spunk. And
oh no,
as they kind of were whisking the line through really quickly, and it went so quickly, and he's like, and they kind of pushed him aside, and all that came out of his mouth was spunk. That's all he said. He didn't get to say anything else, and it's like he was embarrassed, and it's like I know it's sometimes
I must have worked because he did a local show, and she was a guest on it. So it must have turned out okay.
It must have worked, but yet he told that story. It was very funny, just about even celebrities get freaked out about other celebrities too. It's cool. It's understandable. But getting back to, look, if you see a celebrity, always ask. Don't do that.
Don't be a creep. Just be nice,
Yeah, be nice. Because they're people too.
And and then there's the opposite of like, so I was reading some stuff about after someone's dead, especially like Jerry Lewis, all this stuff comes out about just all the horrible shit that he did. I still admire him as a personality and as a comedy legend, but I went and saw him with Carrie. We went to this show that was an evening with Jerry Lewis, and it was somewhere in like near Anaheim or something, and at this theater, and he's close to death's door. I mean, he's in a wheelchair, and in between these little breaks, a person comes out with an oxygen tank and gives him a little swig.
No,
it was serious, yeah. But he comes out and he does the little typewriter bit. Before that, of course, he opens with, how Chinese people name their kids, right?
No,
they throw up a bunch of silverware, and as it lands, it goes bing bong ching chong.
Oh, he didn't do that.
He did.
He didn't do that.
Oh yes, yeah. Wow. So and so he does all these things, and then finally there's a question and answer period, and now people have paid money to see him, and he, like, if someone says something wrong in the tiniest possible way, he just launches into them. And I just like, fuck. And I guess when you're Jerry Lewis and you're already damaged as a person, who cares, right? Like at that point, you're so close to death. It's like, fuck everybody.
Well, that's just Matt. You would say, "Do you know how much time I have left, and I have to listen to this?" I mean, come on. I mean,
but wow, it was something to see. I was like, wow, okay,
I had to see him at the Martin Short show, and
he was nice to you though, right?
Yeah, and his balls came out of his shorts when he was doing a kick up in the air, and I was going to use that as my Christmas card, but I didn't, just because it was just mean. But so Jerry did everything you expected. Like, Short went to sit down, Jerry put the microphone up his ass and went, 102. He did every hack bit you could expect. So at the end, I was the only one in the audience, and I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. And then, so at the end, a producer came up to him and said, "Excuse me, Mr. Lewis, your opening clip that you want played before you go on is 19 minutes. And he said, both segments you're doing are only 8. So I don't think we can play that first clip." And Jerry just looked at him. And this is after he was being charming, grabbing the cameras and shaking them around. Sure. He did everything you wanted him to do. So Jerry looked at this producer, and just everyone got quiet. And then he went, "That's why I don't do these fucking shows. You do not edit Jerry fucking Lewis. And he started
Wow.
screaming at the guy. They get
Like-
him out of there. And it was even better that he screamed at the guy. So then I have to go up on the elevator with Short. So he's looking at me and he goes, man, that was bad. I went, yeah. He goes, what do we do? And I go, what are you asking me for? This is not my show. I said, here's the thing. Don't you have a grandfather? Just tell him you're going to play the clip. And then down the line, when it doesn't, so play it for the studio audience so he can have the experience. And then when it's time to edit the show, cut it all out. And
Good,
Short looked
good.
at me and he said, you're a genius. And he shoved me out of the elevator.
That's
Knocked me
amazing.
over, and he just started laughing.
That is
Awesome.
genius. Yeah.
But yeah, Jerry was fantastic. But his balls were like this big out of his shorts. And I was going to write on it, Merry Christmas from Jerry's balls and me.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
It's like real life
I have
bad
the
grandpa.
VHS here somewhere. I got to find it. But then at some point, I was going, what am I going to do that to Jerry?
Well, I'm sure Matt Weinhold would love that picture.
Yeah, I'll look around, see if I can find it.
You know how like they do the death mask? I want a ball mask. I want like a. Wouldn't that be
Ball
great?
cast.
Some plaster balls. I would sort of like to be like the plaster caster of famous comedians.
Like the
have
scrotum
everybody.
wall.
Just their balls. Do you want
Yeah.
the dick? No,
No, just the balls. No, the
Just
dick
balls.
will ruin it. I want just
Oh
the
my!
clean, and I don't want them shaved. I want a little bit of suggestion of the hair, if anything.
Testicle gallery.
And I'm going to put him in a place of honor. I'm not going to put him in the back of my truck.
No, no, it's
Yeah.
no
Over your
nice,
bed.
Nice IKEA case with the lights. Fuck yeah! All right.
Well,
Okay,
it looks
I'm ready. Let's do
looks
this.
It looks like Shawn Sheridan is back.
I am back
Nice.
with a vengeance.
And just to let you guys know, the last time we did this, remember I was in Northern California. I didn't have access to the skull.
That's right.
Hey.
The skull is here.
Skull
Yeah,
is
we have to
And-
think of a good name for this one, like Skullovision or something.
Yeah, and
or the
then-
skull is
and-
back.
And the questions are still in there, and believe it or not, there's still some moldy ones from years ago
Okay,
that we
great.
have not
I
chosen.
love it.
Wow.
I love it.
And by the
I
way,
love it.
John, I don't know if you were just trying to make light of this situation, John, but
How dare you.
last time we did this, we explained, well, you didn't have a skull, and you go, I didn't like the skull anyway. I'm like, huh.
I was just
I
trying to
like
make
this.
it better. A bad situation.
Did
Okay,
you
that's-
not listen to that whole Jerry Lewis story?
I
Yes,
can't act. You know when I'm lying. I can't act.
I don't know when
You
you
love
lie.
the skull.
Okay, good.
Hey,
Because-
so for these, I think we're not really numbering them up. We just come up with a thing, right? Because the last one was called Topic Free for All Out of Our Skull Edition. So this one, like I said, this was called The Skull is Back, or the Skull Vengeance, or whatever you want to say.
I kind of like the
skull
skull is
of-
back because
I like this. I like the skull.
Okay,
is-
the skull is back.
Back.
Topic Free for All, the skull is back.
Yes.
Okay.
Freak for all.
And
Oh, I like
and,
that. Freak for all.
And we know how
Mhm.
we play this game, right?
I completely forgot
John Madden
everything.
knows.
Yes.
If he doesn't, there was a head injury recently because
No, but
we've done this.
we'll go one at a time. I'll pull a thing out. I'll read it, and then each person will start at once. First, second, third, fourth. That kind of thing. So
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Cool. How did we do it last time? We didn't have the skull, but we had the topics. How did we?
what we did is each one of us wrote 6 things.
Oh, that's
down,
right.
And
Okay.
then we said, James, give me your number 2.
Okay,
And
but
that's
luckily
what
some of
happened.
those. So those are gone.
They
then.
won't be. They won't be.
But
in here.
but these are old ones. But there's plenty of them, right? Okay.
I think. I
So Larry's the skull master.
yes.
Yes, and this skull and these questions have been with us for a while.
been with us for a lot. Old friends.
Yes. And some of
Yes.
them might be weird and dated. We'll see.
Well,
I love it.
that's-
Even better.
Yeah.
no,
It'll be funny. But we
there's
should
no-
explain. We should explain that. Qualify that.
Yes, there's no.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode of The Powers of Matthew Starr? That's not it.
Yeah.
No, I
That's
want to
so-
answer that.
I love.
No,
Mine was the evil twin.
The one that
episode,
I wrote.
Yeah, right.
which I'm sure there was one. I
That's
just
my
made that
spec
up.
script.
No,
But I
no,
still
no.
shop around, by the way.
I don't know if they're going to be. They're not going to be that.
No. I don't.
Okay,
What do you think about this young, new, scrappy filmmaker, John Carpenter?
No, I don't think it's
This
anything like that.
Eisenstein kid is really tearing it up.
Okay.